Welcome to the countdown. While you wait for the show to begin, try to relax, grab a drink, sit down, and just enjoy the music.
Yeah. Ooh, whoa.
Don't Christina it out.
Okay.
A little bit of land goes a long, long way. If you believe fracking is okay, a little bit of land goes a long, long way. Sign the lease, bring the rigs today. Everybody say money, love, money, 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 more money.
Welcome, relatable people, for a special episode of The Chop, Drag Race UK Season 3, aka another shit show. It's not by chance that this was literally filmed the week after Down Under finished filming. I kind of see a connection there. There is a little bit of something there. So, how you all doing? It's been quite a while, like 5 weeks since we've been on Livestream discussing, dissecting, obsessing over this show and all its thousands iteration out there. I hope you've been good. I've been relaxing a little bit, more free than usual. And so, you've seen what happened in these 3 episodes, and yeah, basically I'm ready to tap out. But before I do that, let's give the season a proper goodbye with a proper stream so that we can vent all our frustrations, talk about the things that did work, the things that didn't work, and try to find some closure into all of this. Because after all, Canada's Drag Race, it's starting next week, and I think a couple weeks after that, Dragula is starting. And yes, I'm trying to do my best to review it. So it's nice to have free time for doing that. Now, before we begin, as usual, as it's customary on this channel, let's greet the almighty chat. We have Jennifer, Johnny Boy Toy, Cherry, Rashi, Karu, Yuri, John Young, Sen, Nora, Mario, Coffee, Annalisa Vakarian, Gothboy UK, thank you for all the receipts, Zoe, Kai Illustration, Mistweek, Emma Louise, The Shade, Fantasia, Felicia, Hector Mora, Frank Comper, Nightmare, Dead Allison, Blazing Bard, Sasha, Yelko, Zach, Iconic, Thomas, and everybody else that joined in the past couple of minutes. But I will greet you while we chat and do the review. Thank you so much for coming. A warm welcome to the new subscribers who might be new and don't know what we actually do here. So, brace for impact. So, what do we do tonight? Well, I wanted to briefly review all the 3 episodes that we have gone so far. Sorry, I couldn't prepare as much as I do for this review. This is actually something that I decided, I think, 3 or 4 days ago. So everything is a little bit rushed in, but we can talk about all the things that I noticed, and you can add all the other things that you noticed. So, as usual, comments at Top RPDR videos, super chat if you feel generous and want to hear Weaselman rendition of Call Your Girlfriend. And the thing for the new subscribers, we do not do spoilers on this channel. We do not do spoilers on the review. What we do is speculations. So feel free to share whatever you think it's going to happen. But remember, your opinion is way more interesting if you add the details and the reason behind it. Like, you can say, I think this person is going to go home next. Yes, fine. But it's more interesting if you noticed a little bit of something. Oh, I noticed that. So it means that this is what we do here. This is exactly what we do here. So, where are we? Oh yeah, somebody requested a little bit more of Vilma and Spot, since Vilma sponsored, what was it, the first UK videos that I did. And of course I have to oblige. Now, Vilma hasn't been really good in the last 10 days. She caught a cold, so she is under antibiotics. She's doing great. She's already recovering. She is not making any noises anymore. She is really healthy. But I thought, you know what, since they asked, let me show you a little bit of Vilma eating peanut butter laced with antibiotic. And Spotty, of course, because they get crazy for peanut butter. So of course when Vilma is getting the antibiotic, Spotty is trying to, you know, sneak a little bit of it. And yes, Spot wants to get a little bit in on the action. Gothboy UK, I thought you meant Vilma Fingerdo. Oh, no. Vilma is the mouse. That was named after Vilma Fingerdo. Because, you know, after all, legends need to be carried on. And Luis Felipe, blame it on the edit should be the new theme for the channel. What a shit show. What a fucking shit show. And she had the nerves to come out with that song. Well, to pay someone to write that song and blah, 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 and everything else that's behind it. And the message of that song is, bitch, you said it, so how are you going to regret it? I think I'm going to take that by heart and show RuPaul that if you said it, then how are you really going to regret it? It's going to be on an upcoming video. Yeah, we cannot let that thing go. I mean, come on. Context is everything in anything, not only on the things that you say, in the things that happen. Context is half of the story, but it doesn't matter. If you pocket money out of that, it doesn't matter. Of course, a message like that had to come by Mama Ru and all the other queens that, of course, have to, you know, go along with it. Because World of Wonder, Monopoly, sweet money, do you want to work? Then you should go out there and tell the people, hey, you said it. You don't regret it. You said it. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. So, tonight, what the fuck happened to RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 3? So, we're going to be discussing the season so far. I will briefly review all the 3 episodes. We're going to see the favoritism towards some, namely Crystal, River, and Scarlet, while others were unceremoniously thrown under the bus, like Victoria Scone, for example, who was such good publicity, and then they couldn't even tell her, hey, we're sending you home. You have to come out on your own and say, yes, I'm deciding to go home. How nice is that? Allegedly, of course. Veronica Green, too, thrown under the bus. Then we're going to be discussing something important. An important issue that came out on episode 3, because, you know, this is not just a review, this is not just about the edit. If an occasion comes where we can expand a little bit on some topics and maybe come out with something that you can take out in your everyday life and make it better, sure, why not? Let's talk about it. That's a great thing. And then some final predictions for the season. Now, one thing that I really want you to understand, that if you are enjoying this season of Drag Race, that is fantastic. I'm not here to ruin anybody's fun. I mean, I am frustrated with it. I don't like it. Sometimes I get triggered. It looks like as if I'm looking Drag Race UK, you know, because I want a little bit to you know, to pull the plug a little bit. You know, I want to relax. I want to go on the sofa, watch an episode, have fun, scream at the screen, get crazy. I want to have a good time. And if I'm not having a good time, well, guess what? It's not like we have a lack of TV show or a lack of Drag Race. And this is what I do, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it. If you enjoy it, that is great. That is fantastic. If you also enjoy it and you're here to talk about it, that it's even better. But I'm not your role model. I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. So you enjoy it, That's great. Keep watching, keep do whatever you find really entertaining. I will keep doing the same, and we're cool. We're cool. So, from the chat, Prince Astral, I think Ru was shading JBC from Canada's Drag Race. Yes, but that song had to be... when did the interview come out? Like 3 weeks ago? That's a little soon to put. I mean, the song is a shit song, so of course it could have been put together in 3 weeks. Why not? But I don't know. It sounds more like the kind of PR bullshit that all the queens allegedly have been told to push. Like, you said what you said, so don't blame it on the edit, which is usually the excuse that we got. Because what other excuse could you put in there to try to justify the bullshit that they do? You said it. Own it. Oh yes, too bad that you put it completely out of context and exaggerated and repeated it and made it travel in time. Let's forget all of that. So you see, they have to say what they have to say. I don't like it, but I do understand the fact that they need to earn money to pay their bills. So I do understand the queens. RuPaul is another story. The bitch is worth 60 millions. 60 fucking millions. Do you have any idea how much money is that? 60 millions. Oh my god, I cannot even begin. I cannot even begin. Luis Felipe, Vilma should stream Peanut Butter by RuPaul. Available on iTunes. I swear. Somebody came and said, please, give Vilma their own YouTube channel. And I'm like, yes, I could do that. She'll be more successful than me. And the first video will be exactly that. Exactly that. Then singing Peanut Butter while hitting peanut butter from RuPaul. Marion, 60 million is a lot of... Yes, it's a lot of fracking money. That is a lot of fracking money. Nightmare, that song is going to come and bite her in the ass in the future. I hope so. It made me so angry when it was released. I mean, you know, money is so good. You know, when you love money that much, because remember, money is a means for doing something, but for some people it's something else. Money is the thing that makes you fall asleep with a warmth in your heart at night. Money is the first light ray of sunshine that you see in the morning when you wake up. Money is everything that you wish for while you go through life, skating through events that don't touch you in the slightest. Nothing matters. People don't matter. Situations don't matter. Issues don't matter. How are you going to go through all that boredom? Well, guess what? There is money. And that is what I think RuPaul is. Because when you go out there doing bullshit like this, with the position that you have and your reach that you have, just go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit anymore. Fuck off. Drag Race is bigger than RuPaul, so there is the door, bitch. You fucking said it very well. Fuck off. Bye. It's been nice. Now, moving on. Where are we? Where are we? Yeah, you know, I'm starting to lose it. I'm slowly starting to lose it. And speaking on losing it, I shouldn't be losing it because it's been 5 weeks. No, not 5 weeks. What the fuck am I saying? 3 weeks without cigarettes. So I'm officially a vaping douchebag. Again, for like the 11th time. And it's been crazy. It's been really crazy, but I'm slowly getting better. I am confident that in the next 3 months, I will probably be completely back to my usual self. So we're going to see about that. Now, this season was not all downhill. There were some things that I really, really liked. So before we begin with everything, I want to, you know... I want to give a nice words about the things that I really, really liked. First of all, every episode has a mini challenge. Do you remember mini challenges? Yes, I know they are kind of extinct. We don't see them anymore. But on UK, they're always there. And they are stupid, they are fun, they are campy, they are, you know, it's like the old Drag Race. It's like the old Drag Race. Still, don't forget, it's World of Wonder. They don't like most of the power. They want all of the power. So if you win the mini challenge, usually you get, you know, maybe a gift card from a sponsor that paid $1,000 to you and probably $50,000 to production to be mentioned for 30 seconds. And another thing that I am enjoying are some of the queens. I enjoyed Veronica probably the most, but I'm really living for Choriza. I'm really living for Choriza. She's incredible. The moment she mentions big cocks, you have me. You have me. How can you not have me? And most of all, she's like the story of my life. Since I moved to another state for my boyfriend, for being together. So I relate to that. She's relatable. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Choriza is relatable. The forbidden word of this channel. Allison, thrilled for me, quit smoking. I'm thrilled as well. And a little bit tickled, like in that place in your head that should usually tell you, shut the fuck up and don't lose it. But, you know, I'm doing my best in here. Now, what the fuck happened to Season 3? Now, the thing that happened to Season 3 is that it was not Season 2. Season 2 of Drag Race UK was amazing. It was the best season of Drag Race. It was even better than All-Star 6. If we remove that episode with Laganja, Drag Race UK towered basically every season of Drag Race since Season 8. It was so good, Season 2, and so many things went together to make such an amazing season. Not only it was stupid, not only it was fun, not only it was campy, all of the queens had incredible personality. All of them were not scared to get their personality out. That might have had something to do with the fact that BBC cannot do all the bullshit that World of Wonder does in the United States. And also, all the shock value that was inside the season, it was real shock value. When they stopped filming, it didn't come out of the blue. It wasn't bullshit. It wasn't programmed. It fucking happened. It was real drama in the show that was allowed to shine and taken to the extreme. They stopped filming for months. They stopped filming for months, and when they came back, more drama because one person couldn't come back, which was Veronica. All of these things worked together so well that made an iconic season with iconic queens that, mind you, all of them will have incredible... Yes, even Tia Coffee. I see you in the chat thinking, may I write something about except Tia Coffee? Fuck off. Yes, Tia Coffee as well. They are all relatable. Shabby McFly. Woo! More money. Ooh, more money. Ooh, Weasel. It's Weaselman turns to sing.
Call you get freaked. Wait.
Top is definitely gonna use that in the next video.
I told you I was going to use it. Thank you, Shami, for the super chat. $20, baby. Ooh, shake that ass. Yes. Thank you so much for the support. That Allison, I just joined your Patreon to help. Thank you so much, Allison. Thank you so much. I always remark that money is not that important. Money is always a means to an end. But I always forget. Publicize fucking yourself. Ask people to join the Patreon. Like $1, $3, $5 is not the end of the world. But if you come in group, then you will be allowed to actually pay your bills with the channel, you know? Get more time to work on the channel, be paid for doing it. And I'm always like, yes, but I don't want to look like I'm begging. I don't want to look like, you know, we need it, because, you know, I can pay my bills. We can pay our bills. It doesn't depend on everyone. So it's just that it's something more. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Emma, thank you. I am rich. I am rich. How many liquid for my electronic cigarette I could buy with $35? That's a lot of fucking liquids. Emma, money is my god. Season 3 feels like season 2.5, but like weird 2.5. And how is it gonna work with Lawrence Chaney only having 6 months of being the reigning queen? Yeah, Lawrence got completely fucked. It's like they looked at him while, you know, from the high of the production room and thought, yeah, we can crown the fat one. After all, he's just going to be there for 6 months. I shit you not, somebody said that. Because that's how it works at that level, you know? Oh, what do we have? 60% of the population is overweight. Oh, then we need to crown an overweight one. And, you know, I don't have a problem with it. I love Lawrence. The point is that that person, it's not just a weight. That is a person. She has a talent. She has a personality. Can we fucking value them for this? But, you know, it's business as usual. Business as usual. That Allison wanting to embarrass you with my... Oh my god, I'm fucking rich tonight. What the fuck is going to happen? I should do live stream every week.
She wanna blame it on the edit.
She wanna blame it on the edit.
She wanna blame it on the edit.
Blame it on the edit, bitch. Are you gonna set it? Oh no, how was it? Are you going to regret it? Whatever bullshit was that. So, season 2 was amazing. What is the problem with season 3? What the fuck happened to season 3? Well, I'll show you what the fuck happened, with a little bit of research as well. Research, not repurpose. We research on this channel, and I'm very proud of that. So, as you know, Drag Race Down Under was a complete load of shit. They completely fucked it up in 1,000 different ways. But it all started in late January of 2021, when they started filming for the season. And they say late January, so it's not the 20th of January. Otherwise, they would have gone like, yeah, it was the middle of January. They said late January. It's like from the 25th of January. And by the 16th of February, Michelle Visage was already back in the U.S. So make your math, because best case scenario, they filmed for 3 weeks. Best case scenario, 3 weeks. And, you know, you have to understand, to do a show, there is a lot that goes into that. So we can say filming lasted for 3 weeks. Then is a ton of other works that goes around. Lisa Franklin, $2. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support.
She wanna blame it on the edit.
She wanna blame it on the edit. I should pay Fantasia some royalties. Because I'm going to play the shit out of this clip. Hey, Juna, they're gonna bring Bimini for the finale of season 3 and crown her as the gag of the season. That's oh shit. That's a reason for keep watching Drag Race UK season 3. Thank you. Thank you. Why not? I hope so. So, oh my god, guys, thank you. But I also need to do the show. Thank you, Mario. I love money, and I'm still waiting for you to release that album. I am so behind on so many projects. I always say I will get more time, and then I will get all of these videos out. Don't worry, they will all go out, and then time goes on, and then I accumulate more and more videos that I need to finish, and then I never do it. I am terrible. So I stopped. Oh, U.S.C, I didn't even stop talking about new projects. Because I said that maybe I will review Dragula. And if I don't follow through, it's just another one. Oh my god. You know what we need? We need to hear Wisman sing a little bit more.
Call you get rigged. You think you did die. Wait.
Top is definitely gonna use that in the next video.
Oh god. So, let's go back to that season that gave everyone post-traumatic stress disorder, which is Drag Race Down Under. So they filmed in 3 weeks. What happened after these 3 weeks? Well, Michelle came home by the 16th of February. So she probably took a couple days to, you know, wash the sweat and grime from these 3 weeks of filming. And maybe by the 18th, 19th, she flew back to Manchester for starting filming for UK Season 3. So let's say that she was in the UK by February 20th. Then Willem told us, I have an image of Sexy Willem. Where is Sexy Willem? There we go, Sexy Willem. Then Sexy Willem told us that they rushed production so fast that sometimes they filmed 1 episode per day. What does it mean? That if Down Under had 10 queens and they completely rushed through it and it took 3 weeks. A normal season usually takes 4 to 6 weeks. So to film the UK that has 12 queens, probably they took another 3 weeks at best. And after that, they had to rush to film the International All-Stars. And you know that International All-Stars, it's more important to World of Wonder than Drag Race UK. But since International All-Stars, yes, there is an end to this. But since International All-Stars, it's called UK versus the world, it's very possible that it's being produced by the BBC as well, at least in collaboration with the BBC. So what does it mean? It means that they had a fuck ton of shit to do, and they had to get this season 3 out and running here in late September, beginning of October, late September. So they didn't have fucking time. And you know what does it mean? Corinne! Oh my god, Corinne, thank you. Wish me luck. I have 3 interviews next week. I promise I'll join the Patreon if I get a new job. You don't need to join, but let me tell you one thing. When you sit there, don't let them judge you. Judge them. But don't say anything. Don't say anything. Keep your eyes open, because if I were to employ you, I would be studying you. And if you're studying me back, well, maybe I'll get curious, you know? Maybe I will call you for a second interview, and that is what you want. You want the fucking second interview, and then you're going to ace their ass here and there. So good luck. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up, and fuck them up. Fuck them up. Come on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'll give you a little bit of Fantasia, because why not?
She wanna blame it on the Eddie.
She wanna blame it on the Eddie.
She wanna blame it on the Eddie.
Oh, yes, baby. So they rushed production. What do you do? And this is something that I will always spend time to explain, because I don't care if there is like one new person that never heard it. I will say it again for that one more person. When you are shooting for reality television, you can spend little time for filming. It's not important. It's post-production that you need. It's not by any chance that Drag Race, at the very beginning, when they had a small studio, it would take like 6, 7, 8, 9 months for editing the season. Why are you asking? Well, because during filming, a ton of shit happens. And if you bombard the viewer with everything, they won't understand anything at all. So you need to pick all of the storylines that you want to show, and then slowly build together a season, build together a narrative, understand what should be cut so that the viewer doesn't get confused, what should get in so that the narrative is compelling, you are engaged, you want to see what's coming next. This is not easy. We're talking about thousands upon thousands of hours of video and audio to patch together, not to mention that you can make shit up, you can patch sentence up, and you know, at the end of the day, yes, it's fake, but it's fucking entertaining if you have the time to do it. If you don't have the time to do it, you cannot spend time plucking all of these storylines. You need to give them an incentive. You know, while it's filming, you need to manipulate a thing here and there so that they go already in a certain direction, that you already decided it was going to go in that direction. Why? Because it makes post-production much faster. That's why. And you don't have time. This is the fucking problem. You don't have time. So what can they manipulate? Well, it's the BBC, so they cannot do all the shit that they do in the US season. But they can manipulate the critique. They can manipulate the challenges, the order of the challenges, the kind of dresses the queens will be wearing, because, you know, you remember Tamisha Iman when she spilled that they take pictures of all the dresses. This is still World of Wonder. It's a co-production between World of Wonder and the BBC. So they know which kind of dresses they have. They know if they need the queen to fall, then they can call a specific runway, because guess what? The runway and the main challenge itself, they are not connected. it almost never happens that the two things are connected together. So you can manipulate that as well. And of course, the cryptic. You can manipulate everything on the cryptic. And there's been so much bullshit in this cryptic that please have pity on me. I just went out of All Stars. I didn't go through the cryptic. It's too much. Cherry for 5 PLN. I don't know what it is. Please forgive my ignorance, but thank you so much. Cherry is also a new subscriber, so thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And remember, don't blame it on the edit.
She wanna blame it on the edit.
Oh, yes. So they rushed everything up, and they need to have everything under tight control, because if you lose control while you are filming, well, then you are completely fucked. And the best way to go through all of this by having the minimum amount of time possible is to try to manipulate everything, make it go in a direction that you already decided, and if you deviate from that plan, then you are completely fucked. You are completely fucked because you don't have time to do anything. What the hell are you going to do? So we're going to see the producers panicking in episode 2 because the impossible happens when Victoria injured herself. And in fact, if you noticed, most of the shenanigans happened in episode 2. Also in the other episode, but most of them in episode 2. That's not by chance. It's not a coincidence. Remember, it's not a coincidence. So, now that we have talked about all of these things, let's get some liquid energy first, which we are not still sponsored by Lidl, because I didn't even contact Lidl and ask them. Do you want to sponsor me? Like, maybe I will stream once next month and I will probably have 100 people in there. Do you want to give me free energy drinks? Consume it responsibly. Remember, it's more relatable if you consume it responsibly. Now, episode 1. Sorry that I don't have many images, but I was running out of time. But on the bright side, I managed to capture video through my streaming software. So if we want to see something in details, let me know, because I can pop up the video, find wherever it is, and we can watch it together for no longer than 30 seconds. Otherwise, we'll get a copyright claim and, you know, maybe the stream goes down. So, Fantasia, you're full of energy today. I'm actually happy. I like coming on stream. I missed coming on stream. Sorry, I bit my tongue. I miss coming on stream, but I cannot just come on stream every week. You know, that's what do you come for? You have nothing to say. You didn't prepare anything. That's unprofessional. It's not entertaining. I wouldn't watch it, so why I should do it? But I do enjoy it, yes. And you're here, so you know. So my very, very first impressions of episode 1 was that something was kind of different. I couldn't really put my fingers on it, and then I realized, oh, wait a moment, it's the queens. They seem more not really out there, kind of scared of either scared of talking, or maybe they don't have big personalities, very big personalities like last season, or maybe they are just overwhelmed by the situation and will flourish later on in the season. I don't know what is it, but for whatever reason it is, the queens seem a little bit off. It looks like in their morning coffee somebody poured some Xanax for some reason. I don't know. I'm not saying they drank them. Mind you, I'm not saying that. Although it would be interesting. They seemed a little bit off. The only ones that I'm really noticing are Victoria Scone for obvious reason, Veronica Green, because I love Veronica Green, Choriza, because, you know, she talks about dicks, so how can you not love Choriza? And Charity, because Charity is the most different in the whole bunch, so by virtue of that alone, you already notice her. Plus that entrance look was incredible, so of course I noticed her. How could I not notice it? Another queen that I noticed was Crystal. Now, I want you to be clear about Crystal. I'm talking about impression now. Okay, what is an impression? Impression is something that you think and that you know that has zero value, because the moment you get more information, you can make an opinion and throw your impression down the drain. So if we have a deal on the meaning of impression, I will tell you my first impression of Crystal. And my first impression of Crystal was that she is a privileged kid, a bratty kid with, yes, a good makeup, but you got all that plastic surgery. You're 19 right now, so you must have had time to heal from your plastic surgery, which means you probably got it at 18, because I don't think it's even legal to get it before. Where did you get the money from that? And all of your runway looks so expensive. And I'm like, no, I'm not here for this. I'm sorry, but I'm not really here for this. So I'm already, you know, have a little bit of thing like, yeah, I think I will enjoy more other queens. Let's say it like this, because hate is a strong word, but even dislike is kind of a strong. I'm just not interested in Crystal. That's it. That's the you know, get it out, go to the other queens. That's where I want to look. John Young, $5. Love your channel. Got a new job, so I can finally support. Keep exposing Mama the Frack Roo. You deserve all the coins. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to make a video about that blaming on the edit. And by the way, since DZ for €5, thank you so much. Here's something for the liquid energy girl. That is 5 whole euros. These things cost 27 cents. You're going to get a fucking heart attack from that. But thank you. Really, thank you for the support. It's really incredible. Let's hear Wiz sing while I get a little bit of liquid energy.
Wait.
Top is definitely gonna use that in the next video.
We are so out of sync. We're not the band in sync, we're out of sync.
No. I want to redo my verse. She wanna blame it on the edit.
She wanna blame it on the edit. I'm sorry, I'm new to... You must realize by this point, I am new to sound bites. So I'm like a little kid with a new toys. I keep pressing on it. I can't stop fucking pressing on it. It will pass. It will eventually pass. I promise. It comes and it'll go. So don't worry. So these are my first impression. Somebody asked Emmeline, yes. Are you saying you can't relate to being 19, beautiful, rich, and famous on TV? Yeah, that isn't that incredible? Good God. Sometimes I feel like, what was it? That tweet from... Which tweet was it? It was a tweet. It was a tweet like, if you're fat, it's your fault because you eat too much. If you're poor, it's because you don't work. Everything you do, I don't remember who it was that said it. I understood the sentiment behind it. I understood it. I cannot recall it right now. If you know it, you can write it in the chat. But I don't know who said it. I was like, I understand the sentiment, but you worded it in a way that people are going to destroy you. People are going to destroy you. Drago, it's Blair. Yes, it was Blair. Yes, it was Blair. My God. Oh my God. Paycheck Addict, your channel is so awesome. Thank you for all the hard work. You are welcome. We love doing it, except scoring the confessional. That is so fucking boring. But it's great when you get to, come to the conclusion and say, ooh, this is fake. This is what they did. They did it on purpose. They trashed this other queen, and they did it because they wanted to achieve this effect. And you can say it knowing that you cannot be sued over it. Well, technically, yes, they can sue it. They can sue, but I don't think any judge would really make such a false claim actually go to court, But you can say it without the fear that they will bring your ass to court, which is amazing. That is where you want to get. Okay, that's where you want to get. You want to be able to say things and not have your ass handed over in court. Hey Jonah, Crystal is the screaming iPad causing Crystal is the screaming iPad cousin in the family reunion. Well, I don't know. This is how she comes off from television. But, I don't know her personally. Shut the fuck up. My God. I need to contain myself. I'm not containing myself tonight. This is not good. So these are all the queens that I noticed. Okay? Now, let's jump to the runway. I know you can see very little. It's my fault. I didn't enlarge the picture. Can I enlarge it? Is it too... No. No, it's not working. Where is it? There we go. A little bit more. Maybe you can see... Oh, I fucked it up. Nope. No. Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe you can see a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so for me, in this runway, I kind of agree with the judges, with Crystal, because Crystal had literally the best dresses out of basically all of them. The second dress was a real treat. What I do not agree, and I'm sorry, Victoria, because, I understand the struggle. I think she has something to prove. And it's not that she has to prove something to someone, but she has the ability to prove that she is something. So I do understand the struggle, and I relate to that. But I don't really think she deserved a top 2 placement with Crystal. Who I think was supposed to be in there was Charity. Charity had the second best dresses on that runway for me, because I gave both of the dresses 4 points out of 5, and she is the only one with 8 points. Over her, I have Crystal with 9. Everybody else, at best, has 6. So for me, she was really deserving of that top position. But she was passed on. And this is going to become a theme. And this is why in the speculations, I can already, anticipate it to you. One of the speculation is that Charity will never be in that top 4 because they are passing on her continuously. I am surprised they let her tell her story in episode 3. I'm really surprised about that. So I didn't agree with Victoria being on the top. Nevertheless, she is there on the top next to Crystal. Now, another queen that was completely dismissed from this runway was Vanity. What the fuck happened to Vanity? For me, she was the 3rd best dressed queen on that runway. Why? I think she was even safe. They didn't even critique her. They were like, yes, you can go. What the fuck? Don't you have eyes to see? No. Well, this is also why we are having this show. We are venting together, so that we don't vent anywhere else and maybe risk offending someone. But what the fuck happened to Vanity? Oh, wait a minute. She has to be in the bottom twice. Oh, I see that. Prince Astral, Charity didn't fit Rue's outdated idea of what drag should look like. I would love to believe that. But I think it's also the BBC who has a very outdated idea. I don't think they even understand drag. I mean, with the shit that they did with Doctor Who, they clearly showed that they don't understand anything about science fiction. Now we know that we also don't understand the fuck about drag. So, let's vent. Don't worry, it's a safe place. Let's vent. Then, in the bottom, we have Elektra and Anubis. Now, both Elektra and Anubis looked like shit. Girls, I understand the struggle. I know they didn't have money, they probably didn't have time, and at some point, time becomes money. So even if you don't have time, but you have enough money, then you can use it to buy clothing, to pay a stylist, to do all of these things. So I understand the struggle. And it stays right here, because right here is a space in which I'm judging what I see. So don't take it personally. This is what I want to see. There was nothing special going on there. What completely made my blood boil was that River should have been right there in the bottom next to Elektra and next to Anubis. I don't get any of what happened to River. Yes, RuPaul was laughing. Well, first of all, if you show any sane person that segment and you ask them, seriously, I'm not fucking kidding, take any random person and ask them, is this funny for you? First question. Then second question, do you think the reaction of this black woman, RuPaul, because maybe they don't notice, the makeup is so amazing. Do you think the reaction of this black woman is a little bit exaggerated to that? And do it to ask for 5, 6, 7 people and see how they react. What the fuck was going on? Did they lace RuPaul's coffee again? What the fuck? I mean, of course I would love to have some of what she had. Of course, this is jealousy. You know that it is jealousy. I would love to be high as a kite as a job. But, for fuck's sake, River, I have nothing against River. Again, I am judging the dress. I'm judging the dresses, the presentation. She had a little bit of a gimmick, but what was all the fuss about? Because you have to understand, I don't have a problem with River, but if you start giving special treatment to someone, then in order for things to balance out, you need to fuck up somebody else in the ass. That's the problem. You know, if we could give privileged treatment to everyone, then it would become normality and it wouldn't even look privileged anymore. The only way why you notice it is because somebody else is footing the bill for that. So that's my problem with it. It's not a problem with that person out there who, you know, dressed the best that she could, I have no doubt about it, and ended up looking like that. It's not a problem with her. It's a problem with fucking production, you know? Felicia, I agree with you on Charity Victoria and Vanity's placement. Yes, it was completely, you know, it was bullshit. And already I told you, sorry if I digress a little bit from River, the fact that they put Victoria already in the top, because, sorry, I forgot to tell you this before, it already gives you an impression, you know? It already gives you a hint. Why do they want me to see this queen, who clearly didn't deserve to be in the top? There was nothing special there. There was not even something very so unique that it would pop out among everything else that was served on the runway. So you want me to notice. And then you start to couple it with the fact that she is the first cis woman. Sorry, I have to go through my head for the correct jargon, because last time I called her a biological woman and people said, well, you say you don't, you know, when you say it like that it means, and it made sense. It made sense. So I'm trying to find the correct language here. Please understand, English is not even my language to begin with. So she's a cis woman. And she already made headlines because of that. She is the first one in the entire franchise. So when you start coupling that and the publicity that comes with that, with the fact that she was on the top and she lip-synced and she shouldn't have even been there to begin with, you're starting to see a pattern. Now, when you see a pattern this strong in the very beginning, do you remember season 13? I did a pre-show before season 13 even began. And I spent 2 hours here on Livestream explaining to you why Gottmik was going to end up in the top 4 no matter what. And what happened? Gottmik ended up in the top 4. So for me, it was the exact same thing here with Victoria Scone. Too bad she injured herself. So production needed to take it up the ass like a champ, you know? Luis Felipe, Victoria and Crystal lip sync could have been foreshadowing the producer's top 2 of the season. I don't know top 2, but top 4 I am absolutely sure of it. I will put my balls on the chopping board. I will literally put my balls on the chopping board. Emmeline, AFAB, assigned female at birth. Queen is a common term for cis women who do drag as well. Well, Emmeline, now that you talk about it, since I am not the most knowledgeable in all of these new jargon, I did a little bit of research on that. And all of these terms, they are valid at the moment because we don't have like an established language. It was like 30 or 40 years ago when the term homosexual was being normalized. And so people had to start learning the term heterosexual or straight. And it sounded so strange to say it. Many people felt strange using it, and so on and so forth. That's just a necessary step that comes into, modifying our language in a way that fits reality and that acknowledges the existence of different people. Now, all of these terms, they have all of different meanings. Sometimes you use one because you want to clarify which genitals you have. Sometimes you use others because you want to clarify who do you identify with without letting people know about your gender. It's a mess. So, whenever I'm using this kind of language, I have to apologize in the beginning. But I think a lot of people, they're like, well, be grateful he even speaks English. They're understanding. So now that we talked about all of that, let's talk about the lip sync between Victoria and Crystal. The song was amazing because Total Eclipse of the Heart is an iconic gay song. And you know that I live for these kind of gay songs. That's Drag Race to me, that's the essence of Drag Race to me. I didn't like this lip sync. I'm not saying this to be controversial. I'm going to give you the reason why I didn't like it. I don't think camp, at least Victoria's camp, camp in general, not Victoria's camp. Camp in general applies to this song at all. I think it's absolutely out of place. There is no way to turn it around. Sometimes you can do camp when it's completely unexpected and it works. I don't think it works for this song specifically. It was an awful choice in my opinion. Thank God she didn't do it too much. So that saved her a little bit. And I didn't like Crystal's interpretation of the song. Crystal looked hangry all of the time. It was really simplistic. It's like you're taking the song at face value. This song is an iconic song of finding strength through desperation. The last stand that you make after you reached the rock bottom. This is what this song has always been about for me. And it's not that thing that I'm seeing there. Of course, she's 19, so it's understandable. But no, I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it. And if they have listened to me and put Charity in the top with Crystal, we still would have had Victoria on this season because she would have never lip-synced, she would have never hurt herself. And remember what Willem said when he said girls didn't have time to warm up and so they got injured. Do you see, we got used to stunts during lip syncs. The problem is you gotta fucking warm up. Because if you don't, try do all of these stunts, see what happens to you. And it's easy to say when you are like 18 or 20, try to do that from your late 20s on, or in your 30s. Try to do all of that. Let's see what happens to your body. Gothboy UK, torch songs like this aren't made for playing up. They're standing still under one spotlight and emoting. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I didn't really enjoy this lip sync. But if I had to choose, for me, Crystal was the winner as well. Because, if I have to choose between the two, between a missed interpretation and an interpretation that's basically overdone, I'll choose, the one that's overdone. So for me, Crystal, incredibly, you see the meaning of unbiased. That you end up saying things that you don't even like. So, yes, for me, Crystal deserved to win. Not that I liked seeing her winning, but she deserved it. Prince Astro, Latrice would have killed this song, oh yes. Yes, she would have. So, let's go to the next lip sync. Anubis versus Electra. Now, I liked Electra a little bit better. And I think Anubis was rightfully sent home. There is very little contest in this. I didn't see much riggory going on. I think also one thing that really helped Electra is the fact that she has more experience. Anubis kind of felt defeated in a way. But, you know, this episode, in a way, it's still pretty good. I still think that one of the two of them shouldn't have been there. One of those places was for River, who was saved for no apparent reason. And you know what I think again? Even though Anubis was totally deserving of the bottom, I will not try not to defend that. I find it incredibly suspicious that there are two 19-year-old queens in there, and one of the two goes home. Because when I look at her, for the little that I know, I'm thinking, yes, from a fashion perspective, from a perspective of being polished as a drag queen, there is no contest. Crystal is clearly better, but I like Danubi's personality. And I'm wondering, what if she was allowed to shine, and people would look at the screen and think they both have the same age, they both are 19, but one is this way, the other is that other way. How would it have made Crystal look? Because I find it fucking convenient. I mean, I still believe, yes, it could be just happening by chance, but come on. At this point on this show, we know what by chance means, you know? So I find it very convenient that she was sent home. Nevertheless, she was deserving of the bottom. Absolutely no contest there. Now, what do we have next? Episode 2. Do you guys want to take a pause before we go on to episode 2, or we can continue and then take a pause after episode 3? Because, you know, I'll take a vaping pause. Maybe an energy drink pause, but it's not like I need it. I absolutely need it, you know, like it used to be, that I would go smoking every hour in the past live streams. Maggie, after I saw that episode of Bob's show where Thorgy admitted that production lied to the queens regarding the secrecy of their vote on All-Star 3, nothing with World of Wonder can surprise me. Oh, that I used to think the same. And then it got worse, and worse, and worse, and even worse, and then a little bit better, and then worse again. Nightmare, can't keep up. Wizzleman, Shade, Mario, a little bit of energy goes a long, long way. Yeah, with me, yes. The last time I had an energy drink was during the last live stream. So you can imagine having one and I'm completely woo. But since it's going to be a very long stream, I'm probably going to need another one. Anubis and Crystal are completely different. Crystal would have been eaten alive, especially after calling Victoria. My God, that is so. And she got rewarded, you know, because that's an important lesson to learn. That's something that really moves your heart when you're like, you know. It's difficult to understand that you cannot fucking go out there in the world and calling people fat. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know? I mean, you can call me fat. I don't give a shit about it, especially when you look like that. But for fuck's sake, you know, for some people are a little bit more sensitive to it. They don't need to be reminded of a stereotype that followed them even before people actually knew how the fuck they were called. You know, you understand this at 9 years old. Whatever. Emmeline, taking a smoke break here. Congrats on quitting. I'm still working on it. Kinda. Listen, Emmeline, listen. If you try to quit without having a plan on how to quit, you will end up failing. And the next time you try to quit, you are thinking, but I will fail anyway. You know, so you need to do things the proper way. Remove people that smoke from around you. Remove every possible queue in your house. Remove ashtrays. Remove lighters. Don't go in the place where you usually smoke inside. Do all of these things and stay relaxed, and also have an understanding partner. Because he should have kicked me in the ass. You don't know how many times. And good luck. Prince Astral, the young excuse doesn't apply here. Talking about Crystal and Victoria on the Victoria. My God. Yeah, I agree too. It doesn't apply. This is something that you get before. I'm still understanding, you know. It's not like there is an age when you should understand thing. We can discuss about it. It's not so definitive. But she went so hard with such confidence, like it's nothing, that it told me that you just don't give a shit. And, you know, I can understand a person that comes from a specific culture and they do a specific thing and they've never been exposed to anything different and they grow up at 40 years old saying the worst shit, but they're willing to listen and they're willing to change. I completely understand that and I'm completely on board with it. But what the fuck is that? Crystal, what the fuck is that? Come on. I don't know. Sometimes part of me wants to believe that she knew it, completely knowing what she was doing, and she was doing it for screen time. You know? She was not doing it because she didn't give a shit. Which, in a way, it's a good thing. But still is a terrible example. But, you know, still a good thing. Anyway, I'll go... Let's have a 5-minute pause. Let's shake it up, as usual. And I will go get some energy drink, go to the bathroom, and I will join you back in 3-4 minutes, and we talk about episode 2, then episode 3, then speculations. See you in a moment, guys.
You don't need to be chill. I don't ever play it cool. You don't need the right skills. Don't need the right tools. You just need the guts to seize it. To seize it in the middle. You don't exactly know it, but you know it needs a little breaking up. Shake it up. Shake it up. When things start to settle down. Shake it up. Like it's a snow globe town. The city's like a bottle of sparkling wine. Pour a bullet open, let's take some time. Shake it up. Shake it up. These are cynical times. We had to endure so many clinical lines, so little actual cures. When getting money's our religion and love is in need, we sit and watch while our country bleeds. I'm gonna stop trying to get off the hook, and I really don't care if everybody looks. Shake it up. Let me tell you, baby steps won't work. Shake it up, shake it up. Okay, it just might hurt. The city's like a bottle of sparkling wine. Pour a bullet open, let's take some time. Shake it up.
And we are back. Who wrote about what was it? I saw a comment, Scarlet favoritism. Yes, we are going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that. Don't worry, don't worry. I have it all here. It's all in my notes. It won't escape. Nothing escapes. So, let's move on to episode 2. There we go. So, we move on to episode 2. And please notice that Victoria is dressed in the same way in which she lip-synced. So, what we see in episode 2, in the beginning of episode 2, was still filmed at the end of episode 1. Never forget that. It will become relevant later. Why? And she is talking about the fact that she injured her knee. Now, if I was on the production team, first, notice one thing. At this point, everybody knew that she injured herself. This is the end of filming for episode 1, and everybody knows that she injured herself. Now, if you're not a complete idiot and you have 2 working neurons and you have this minimum amount of experience working in production or simply living a life, you know that Victoria is completely fucked. Because injuries like that, when you are heavy, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but I gained weight. I felt it on myself what happens to your knee. The moment you gain weight and you're not a teenager anymore, that kind of injury doesn't go away. They know that shit is going to hit the fan. They know it. They just need to confirm it. And the moment the episode begins, the moment they start filming for episode 2, the day after, allegedly, of course, the first thing you would do is to take this person and take her to a doctor, because these kind of injuries, these are tendon injuries, they flare up in the morning. So you know that you have to knock at her door in the morning and say, okay, we need to go to the doctor. We are the BBC. Let's take a magnetic resonance. Let's see what happens, because clearly you injured your tendons. So let's see how bad it is and let's decide what to do. Did it happen? I think it did. Because the BBC is, you know, you can say a lot of bad things about the BBC, but I think they care about their image enough to bring this person directly to be checked in the morning. Now, I don't know if they gave her an MRI or simply took her to a doctor. Independently, if this is your job, you know that it's going to go down. They had to know that she was not able to compete at the very beginning of episode 2. They had to know. There is no escape from that. Let me go to a couple of comments. Blake, do you think the Aquaria edit should be given up on by production, given your recent lack of success? I don't understand the question. Do you think the Aquaria edit should be given up? Not necessarily, but it can be improved upon. This is not what's happening with Crystal. They are shitting on it, big time. Prince Astral already happened to Eureka. Gothboy UK, there's no way on earth Victoria wouldn't have been referred to a doctor the same night. Legally, it would be far too risky not to. Well, we know by the contract that they take responsibility for their own injury, so legally, I think they were completely in the clear. But one thing is legally, another thing is image. Remember, your image is money, so you want to protect it as best as you can. So if Victoria, for example, gets crazy and starts saying, wait, they didn't do this and they didn't do that and it's false, they can prove it and say, no, we took her to a doctor. What the fuck are you talking about? So understanding all of this, it's important, because you need to understand that the chance that production didn't know that she was going to leave the competition by the beginning of episode 2 is like virtually zero. So at this point, based on what we said before, I already told you that she was probably she was the best candidate to be in the top 4. I have no doubt that she was in the top 4. But remember, they have no time. So what the fuck do? You know, it's the beginning of filming of episode 2. You had since the night before to start making plans because shit is probably going to go down. So what do? You don't have time. You cannot modify filming. You know that the progression of challenges, it's basically set in stone because you have to do a series of things to follow some storylines to at least give an incentive to different storylines that would justify placement. So what the fuck do you do when your centerpiece goes down the drain? Well, this is the moment where production, from my point of view, completely panicked. Because when something like this happens to a contestant that you're going to bring to the top 4, you can always do, you know, the smart thing to do would simply be take somebody else that was supposed to go home and give them their progression in the competition. Just swap them. You just swap them, so you don't have to modify. You don't have to modify much in order to keep everything going together, and the situation is resolved. Okay, what else can you do? Because now you have a person there, and you have an incredible opportunity to elevate one of the contestants that will be in the top 3. Because Crystal came out of nowhere insulting Victoria. So you are in this difficult situation. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you are served with an incredible opportunity. Because Crystal thought it was okay to call her fat. So by this point, Victoria has no use anymore. And since she doesn't have no use anymore, you know what we can do? We can still use her for some good purpose. And this is the whole storyline of the whole episode. It's a continuous elevation of Crystal. The whole episode, it's Crystal apologizing, Crystal being sorry, Crystal discussing the issues. We have a ton of confessionals where she does so. It's so intrusive and so transparent until finally we get to the workroom where they have the infamous moment that was really only a redemption plot for Crystal. Now, why did they do this? Well, you know what I think. I think they just saw this as a golden opportunity that arrived in a moment of panic, and they just thought, you know what, let's go with the flow. She already is going to be in the top 4, and since we don't know what the fuck we're going to do for this episode, let's just elevate her, and then we'll deal with it later. And they dealt with it later, because by episode 3, they already tuned Crystal's edit like it's like day and night. It's like they finally sat there in the producer's room and realized, oh shit, we fucked it up big time. We need to tune it up tune it down a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, these are all speculations. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I have no doubt that somewhere in the middle lies the truth. You can make your own mind on that. I'm just here to, you know, to stimulate a conversation, and that's it. Gothboy UK. In the UK, you can totally sign away rights due to equity rules. You may be responsible, but the BBC has the duty to care to the rest of the staff who may be affected by your injuries. I didn't know that. You see, this is the kind of finesse that you know when you have more information that is relevant to the topic. I'm not from the UK, so I have no idea about your laws, but it makes completely sense. Thanks for adding. Emmeline, do you think part of the reason they are pushing so hard is because the audience has become so much younger over the years? That's Emmeline, that is one that I think that's the first reason she was cast in the first place. Because you know that younger audience, you want to be represented when you're watching something that's supposed to entertain you, you know. You, most of the time, you want to be represented. That's very, very effective. That's also effective storytelling. And you know, since the audience is getting younger, of course we always have, you know, when I do the prediction for the main season, I did it for season 13 already. There is one character storyline that I always mention, and that's the young and talented, which is always in the US a queen between 21 and 24 years old that gets carried to the top no matter what. And it's basically almost always there. We have very, very few exceptions, since this kind of edit proved extremely successful with Adore Delano in season 6. They understood that and they continued carrying it on. And of course, this is a co-production of World of Wonder and the BBC. So, you know, by this point, I can confidently say, oh yes, like 99.9%, she was cast for the younger viewers. And since in Drag Race UK, they can cast you, I think, up to 18 years of age. There you have it. Maggie, every time I see something about Crystal calling Veronica fat, I hear Monet saying skinny bitches are evil and they need to be destroyed. Nightmare, by the way, are we talking about the new mobile game? I don't know about it. Please don't I don't think I want to know about it. But yes, that's why you have Crystal right there. I mean, she is young, okay? You know that I have my opinions. I have my ideas of her, but she is young. I don't know, at 19 years old, you are so young with so little experience, so little club experience, so little life experience that maybe I am too old. But for me, you know, you are offering very little I'm interested in. That's the thing. Anton, here you are, my favorite radio station. Thank you so much for coming. Prince Astral, do you think they're trying to redeem themselves by having two queens that resemble last season finalists? No, I don't think that has much of an effect. I think that, how are they called? Marketing research has much more of an effect. Like when you know that 60-70% of your viewers are under 25. That has a shit ton of an effect on how you cast, who you cast, how you carry on during the season, because they could have easily, very, very easily edited Crystal to be a perfect villain. It would have took nothing. She would have completely bought into anything that was happening during filming, maybe some suggestions from the field producers or the talent handlers. She would have completely fall for it. Completely. And there you would have added a perfect villain. They didn't. So, what else do we want to talk about? Oh yes, the storyline of Crystal. We all saw what happened to Crystal. I cannot believe that there are why aren't people talking about this? Crystal disappeared during that fucking thing that they did on the main stage. They used all the tricks. You know, camera angle so you don't see her, then first person shot so you cannot compare her to everything that everybody else is doing. You literally need to go frame by frame to realize that she is completely out of sync. And we already, you know, the point is, why did you even show her fucking up the rehearsal? Because you would have, immediately you are grabbing my attention and you're making me look. You are fucking it up. You are covering for her. You are covering for her. Why are you doing it? I'll tell you why. Because they are a bunch of imbeciles that you thought, you know what? We can give her a nice redemption episode. So we will see her calling another person fat. By the end of the episode, they will hug and say, yes, we are good. I understand. I have grown from that. Yeah, because you see, now you grow like in 3 hours. And the same narrative goes for her performance. Oh, you see, she's fucking up the rehearsal, and by the end, she completely ace the whole performance and she win. Ooh, that's such good storytelling. Fuck off. Just fuck off. My God. Why am I even watching this? Do you understand why I finished watching this episode and I was like, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not entertained. I'm starting to get triggered. No. Fuck no. So, by the end of all of this, incredibly, Crystal won. Of course, Crystal won. Now, it's not that she looked like shit, because she did look good. But you know how the judges are with the critique. If they wanted to critique her, they could have done it. But they didn't. This was her redemption episode. This solidifies in the mind of 90% of the viewers that she completely deserves to be on the top. Very well. Now we can concentrate on storylines for other queens. Oh, good God. Come on. Gothboy UK, I talked it out. The only time she's seen in white profile, she is totally out of time. Yeah, but you know, I was expecting everyone to be on it. You know, major channels, Reddit, Twitter going crazy on it. It's like nobody cares. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's not a real competition. I get it. But it's not entertaining. Guys, I know it's fake. I don't care that it's fake. I don't care about it. As long as it doesn't damage anyone and as long as it's entertaining, I'm fine with it. I want to be entertained. There's no problem with it. Just don't fuck up with people's lives. You know, blame it on the edit. And do your fucking job properly. So, by the end, Crystal wins. And for me, personally, this challenge was Veronica's. Now, I know that some of you will agree with it. Some will have other ideas. I know that I have a thing for Veronica. I like Veronica, so I might not be very, very objective with her. I also think that if they didn't give it to Veronica, Charity and Kitty were the next best choices for winning this challenge. But I don't think Crystal deserved it in the slightest. There is no chance that she deserved this in the slightest. I would have liked to see Veronica winning. But one thing that I want you to notice is that, first thing, Charity, even though she looked wonderful, they completely fuck her up during the critiques. She is not even high. I think she ended up being safe. I don't remember if it was safe or low, but she's not in a high position. So she gets passed on again. This is second time. This is twice already. This is twice. And this is why I think she's never going to be in the top 4. Because they had a golden opportunity in episode 3 to reward her again, and they didn't go with it. And then production went out of their way to completely dismiss Veronica. So, you know, you have RuPaul, and this is shot by shot. We can play it if you want to. This is shot by shot. RuPaul goes with, yes, I couldn't help it. I had to put that RuPaul's shot in there. But she goes like this. Veronica, last week you faded in the background. This week you are back where you belong. Center stage. Crystal Versace, you're the winner. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Why do you think in that video I told you I didn't think they had the guts to really eliminate Veronica the episode after? This is something that caught me off guard. This is something that fucking caught me off guard. But by this point, because of this exact scene, I was like, they're going to fuck her up. They are going to fuck her up. Because she is the only one that comes with an already established storyline. She comes with an already established viewership. People are rooting for her from season 2. People are expecting things from her. So, you know, if you need to draw attention away from her, or better, if you want to draw attention to someone, but you cannot do because you have a better comparison there, then take the comparison and trash it down the drain. And that's exactly what they did to Veronica Green. And this is unforgivable. This is completely unforgivable. And I'm expecting the same exact things to happen to Choriza and to happen to Charity. Because it's the same thing over and over again. Now, with Choriza is not as evident as with Charity, but of course it popped up in my mind much, how can I say? Much bigger because I like Choriza very much. So it grabbed my attention before. In reality, I really found out about Charity while I was preparing this review because somebody told me keep an eye on this because they're doing the same thing to Charity. And then I looked and started realizing, oh shit, wait a moment, they're doing it to Charity as well. So this is how they're going to carry on this season. This is why I'm not watching. I don't want to get angry. And for all the people who say, if you don't watch it, you're not supporting the queen. That's bullshit. If you don't watch, you're not supporting the franchise. If I have a channel and with an audience, if I don't talk about it, I'm not supporting the franchise. If you want to support the queen, I can support the queen. I can follow them. I can buy their merchandise. Probably not because I'm too old for drag merchandise. But yes, I can send them $5. It's not a problem. You know, if they come here, I will go to their show and support them directly. What I don't want to support is the franchise that is fucking up the seasons and the girls. That's what I don't want to support. Because the way they fucked up this season, it's incredible. And when you have such a good season like season 2, the comparison, it's going to destroy you. Because looking back, you are like, well, maybe it wasn't that bad, but when you are competing with season 2, this is the only thing that you're going to see. How they fucked it up. I was, I have no words. Triggered. This is not entertaining anymore. I'm starting to get angry. I'm really starting to get angry. And while we were talking about this on the Discord, we had like game night. It's when I recorded, the things that I played before. Phoenix Rising came and she started venting on the way they mistreated Veronica. And she was like, you see, because in the season before, she should have been in the top 4 instead of Belly Diamond. She fucking called her Belly Diamond. Yeah, but I agree. I mean, Veronica is just charming. That's something that either you have it or you don't have it. It's not something that you can learn. You can learn a ton of things in your life, but charm is something that, for me at least, either you have it or you don't. Hey Jonah, wait, hasn't Crystal done the same thing on the runway 3 times now? Oh yes, she had. Yes. Well, what did you expect? What did you expect? I mean, Aquaria had some live experience before coming on Drag Race. She performed. She was out there. She was a little bit older, but when you are that young, 2 years is a long time. So, of course, it was a completely different impression. Now, moving on to the lip sync. We have Electra Fence versus Vanity. Now, did they deserve to be in the bottom? I think so. The problem is that, I don't agree with the outcome. I think that Electra completely murdered Vanity. It's not that she did bad, but I mean, did you see her? Did you see her? She's like, she has like plastic knees. I don't know if she has springs in her in her legs. She gave it all. She gave a show. So for me, I was shocked when she wasn't eliminated. I mean, I do understand representation and everything, but I mean, it's lip sync for your life. It's iconic. Why do they keep rigging it like this? And she was so over the top that the best that they could do was kind of moving the camera around so that she would look almost always in the background. Then she would do a stunt and you see almost nothing of it, just a glimpse. And still so much of her performance literally came through. So I was like, okay, this is taking me out of the fantasy. I want to relax. I want to have a glass of wine or maybe even a beer, sit on my sofa, have some diffuse light, watch my favorite show, be entertained, and be, being sucked in. And when I see bullshit like that, I'm not enjoying it anymore. It's so frustrating. Sorry, I should stop bitching. I am bitching too much. I know. I am bitching too much. Maggie Love says, someone memed Crystal's picture with, quote, when you put the small Barbie head on the wrong body. I'm sorry, I'm leaving. I am leaving. So, oh yeah, I see from the comments, somebody say she overdid it a little bit. She gave a show. And this is something that Vanity didn't give me. So I don't agree. And but it's how it is. It's how it is. What I didn't like, coming to the end of this episode too, was also the bullshit that they did with Victoria Scone. Because, you know, they have RuPaul come in there in her infinite humanity and understanding and empathy, which, you know, it reminded me of what happened with Scarlett during Down Under. That you know it's complete bullshit. That you know she doesn't give a shit. That you know that she's just doing it because somebody decided that she had to do it. But she come out and say, "Oh, Victoria, we care about your health. So, you know, you will go to the doc now that you have finished filming for episode 2. Since you injured yourself yesterday night and probably this morning you had a football instead of a knee, but we filmed anyway. But remember, Victoria, we care about your health now. So now you're going to go to the doctor and we will see what happens and blah, blah, blah. And it's bullshit over more bullshit. And I'm like, why do you have to humiliate this person like this? I get it. You don't need her anymore. But still, for fuck's sake. For fuck's sake, you know exactly what she has. You know what should have happened in here. RuPaul saying, "I'm sorry you got injured. It can happen. I understand that you were trying to give your best, but in good conscience, you cannot continue to go like this. So we will give you £20,000 so that you can prepare for the next season and don't have to go through the burden of buying all of the clothes and dresses that are needed to prepare for the season, and we'll be waiting for you for next season." This would have been the decent thing to do. Instead, what they do is like pretend that nothing has happened. "Oh, we'll see tomorrow, Victoria. We'll see tomorrow." You know? And by the time tomorrow comes, she's not even there, be allowed to say fucking goodbye. Nothing. Now, I don't know if behind the scenes she was actually allowed to say goodbye to the other queens, the field producers, you know, the ones that they give confessionals with, because at some point you start building a relationship with these people. You have the talent handlers, which are the ones that, you know, they help you when you need to go to the toilet or give you drinks or help you. You know, you at some point you are working hard. You're all working hard. You start making a bond. So I like to believe that she was allowed to say goodbye. But what about us, the viewers? Which is the thing that from media perspective is the most important one. She was not even allowed to say goodbye to us through the show. Now, of course, she did it outside. She left interviews. She was she was on social media and all of that, but not in the show, where it matters the most, where the vast majority of people will see her. And I'm like, what the fuck? I get it that you don't need her anymore, but that doesn't mean that you can trash her like she doesn't even matter. She injured herself for giving you a show as well, also for building her career. Of course, there's no doubt, but also for making a show for you. You are fucking responsible. That person was working for you. For fuck's sake. Visual Vic, welcome back. Maybe Victoria will be brought back for the top 4. She released, I'm going to go to that in a moment because it's actually the next slide. Coffee, Decency is the name. Decency, thy name is top RPDR video. Thank you. That's a great, if you call me a decent person, that's a great compliment. So thank you for that. Gothboy UK, Victoria might have been not allowed back on set after visiting the hospital for COVID isolation reason. We were still in strict lockdown back then. Oh my God. That is absolutely reasonable. Then I take back everything that I said in the past 10 minutes. If that is the case, and I want to believe that that is the case, then I take back everything that I said in the past 10 minutes. Sorry. Sorry. It's just that, you know, after we've seen almost a decade and a half of this kind of bullshit, it's like, you know, that's not the first thing that I believe. You know, I always believe the usual, which usually is the worst. Mo S says Victoria must come back on her own terms and when she is ready. See, I wouldn't worry so much about Victoria. She chose to slide across the stage and when she didn't need to. Also, she will be definitely brought back and get another big platform. Maggie, RuPaul doesn't care about Drag Race UK because they don't win her Emmys. Oh, shady. Maggie, shady. I love that. Anyway, Thanks to Gothboy UK, who is always feeding us with receipts and tea, and it's helping, you know. And this is proof that there are many ways in which viewers can actually help this channel. It's not all about money. It's not all about, you know, Patreon, Super Chat, and so on. If you cannot afford it, it's no problem. There are many ways in which you can support us. One is sending us a link, for example, and I appreciate very much that as well. So thank you so much for Gothboy UK. So Victoria Scone released an interview in which she was not invited for fucking season 4. And you remember what happened to Eureka, right? The moment she got injured, they filmed until an episode after. I will give them the benefit of the doubt because maybe that was the first time that happened. And then they told her, Eureka, we are sending you home. You are officially invited for next season. Good luck, recover, and we will see you next year. Now, not only they didn't invite back Victoria during filming, they didn't invite her back in the 6 months that passed since filming, and they still haven't invited her back now that the season is actually airing. And some people are saying, well, no, but maybe she will be, it's because she will be in International All-Stars. Oh, you mean that season that was filmed 2 weeks after Victoria injured herself? that ain't gonna happen. There's no chance in hell. That's a kind of injury that will take months to go into remission. You know? It's just a matter of fact. It's just how things is. Of course, I would love if she healed in a week, but that's not realistic. So that's what I wanted to say about it. They didn't even invite her back. And at this point, you also have to understand one thing. You've seen what happened with Veronica. She has been very vocal about the fact that she was broke because coming back from basically a year and a half of not working because everything was closed. How are you going to pay for all of that? Not everybody can afford stylists, and this is Drag Race UK. It's not an established thing. Like, think about a New York queen, for example. You have stylists in New York that work with many queens that have been in Drag Race. There is basically a market already established in there where, you know, somebody can easily point you and say, okay, you can go to that stylist. He will give you like a 40% discount, maybe even more if you bring the fabric, maybe even more if you're just modifying some dresses and so on. It can help you for Drag Race, you know, just give him recognition and you can pay. There is already something established, but in the UK there is not. So it's really it has a cost, you know, and not everyone can afford it, especially for after being without work for 1 year, 2 years. So even if even if Victoria gets invited back, who is here to say that she even wants to go through all of that again? So, you know, for me, it's kind of telling, the fact that she was not invited. I don't know if she... Well, it's a difficult decision and it's not mine to make. Of course, an opportunity like that, being also the first cisgender woman to be on Drag Race, maybe it would be worth to actually, you know, ask for a loan to the bank. But what I would have done, and what I would hope will happen for her, is that people support her. And that support translates to funds, translates to money, and that people continue to push for having her back in Drag Race. And that way she can come back. But who is there to tell you that maybe she won't be treated the same way Veronica was? So it's a very difficult choice. And I cannot really give you an opinion on that. But what I can tell you is that at least production should have invited her back. And she could have said, I'll think about it, okay? What is it? Filming now? When will this air? 6 months? I will let you know in 3 months. See how the rehabilitation goes. See how everything goes on in my life. And then she wasn't even invited. Which really fits the narrative that, you know what, they don't need her anymore. We did our headlines, which is what we wanted. We had publicity. Now, thank you and goodbye. So, Vitriol Vic, I think Victoria can make it on her own without coming back. She is extremely talented. Yes, but in the very, very beginning of your career, in the world of today, if you don't have an established online presence, then Drag Race can really boost you up in a way that it's very difficult to achieve on your own. Some still make it. Don't forget that there are opportunities. It's just a matter of timing. So I really don't know. So, where do we go next? Oh yes, the mini challenge. Did you like this mini challenge? I was living. This is exactly something that I miss in the US version of Drag Race. This level of idiocy, this level of provocative, because drag is provocative. Our culture is sexually provocative. You know, it's sexual liberation. This is something that we strive for years, you know? And it's so stupid. It's just so stupid. My favorite one were Choriza and Veronica. Because Choriza is like, hello boys, I will see you at the bathhouse. And I was living because all the other queens came with this caricature of masculinity, you know, which, yeah, it can be funny, it can be campy, but it doesn't really get to someone like me with a very, very fucked up sense of humor. So when Choriza comes out talking about bathhouses, I'm like, yes. And then Veronica. Veronica, for me, should have been the winner. When she came out and says, there is no safe word, I was like, shit. And she was completely in character from the beginning to the end. And she had a storyline. There was a story progression in there. It was amazing. It was amazing. I was completely on board. For me, she was the winner. But she wasn't. She wasn't the winner. The winner was Scarlett. And by the way, Rebecca... What's the name? Rebecca Dixon. Sorry, I couldn't see it before. Forwarded to us by Gothboy UK. This comes from Rebecca Dixon on Twitter. So if you're here, hello. Basically, they shown Crystal reacting with a laugh at Scarlett's performance. Too bad you see Scarlett like next to Crystal. And I was like, wait a moment, but they cannot do this in the BBC. So why the hell are we going to see this? Is this because BBC is breaking its own rules, or there is something else to it? Now, there is no conspiracy theory going on with this. What I think happened is that Crystal really was laughing. Maybe she wasn't laughing like this. Maybe the camera was blocked for a moment so they couldn't get a good image of her laughing, and they simply used another shot. And this is something they can do. What they cannot do is to use shots from other times that will give a different impression of the things that happened. Like, for example, do you remember the acting challenge back in season 13 when the queens were basically sitting in the workroom watching on the screen 3 other queens performing the main challenge, and we were shown shots of queens laughing or queens not laughing, and at some point Denali came on social media and said, wait a moment, I didn't laugh at that person, at what that person was doing. I think it was Candy Muse. And Denali came out and said, I didn't laugh to that. But she was edited to laugh at it. So this they cannot do. So if this shot is there, for me, the most probable thing is that she was laughing, they just didn't have a good shot of that. So they had to use this, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Virtual Vic, Veronica should have won. I felt the same. She killed the challenge. Yes. Yes. So, and this is something, you know, this is something, but it's something that you start noticing. You're like, well, why did we need Crystal to laugh at Scarlett? Wasn't she funny enough? Couldn't we be shown somebody else laughing? What is this? Is this about Crystal that has to be shown laughing? Or is it about Scarlett that needs to receive a laugh from someone? So, by the end of this, Scarlett wins. I don't understand why, but I'm starting to think, wait a moment, there is something. Now that we are done elevating Crystal, what the fuck is going on with Scarlet? Is it a pattern? Or is it just me stroking and going away with my imagination? Well, it seems to be a pattern as we go on to the main challenges. Now, by this point, Prince Astral, Scarlet was very middle of the road at best, both in the mini and maxi challenge. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Now, at this point, we could talk about many different things. We could talk about Raven entering in dark mode and giving advices to the contestants. But since we laughed and giggled and talked shit, I feel like we need to talk about this specific thing. Now, in this moment, I'm trying to find the word to go through this because it's not very easy. So basically, Charity comes out as having HIV, okay? And she says something that this is the second time that I hear being said from the show. She said, I'm living with HIV. She describes the experience, how people are treating her, and, what she has to live with. And then she says, undetectable means untransmissible. And this is the second time that the production of World of Wonder let something like this slip. And I didn't talk about this the first time it came up with Trinity. And this is my fault. I didn't talk about it here on Livestream. I talked about it in Discord, but I didn't talk it on Livestream because I was honestly scared of backlash. Because people, we live in a world in which you cannot say, I don't know, the Queen X didn't deserve to win. And if she is a bigger girl, people will call you fatphobic. If she's a trans woman, people will call you transphobic and all of this bullshit. So if I start talking about things like this, people will crucify me. Well, so fucking be it. Because the point is that we have some very, very young viewers on this channel. Amateur season is like 15. Lemon is like 14. Then this is some of the people that I see on the Discord. So in good conscience, it would be unethical for me to stay silent on this kind of things. So let's talk about this. Let's go through it in the simplest way that we can talk about it so that everybody understand. And I hope that some people can use this information to make better decisions in their life. Okay. So, undetectable means untransmissible is a campaign. It's not a scientific fact, okay? The scientific fact here is that undetectable people are thought to have an extremely low chance of transmitting HIV through intercourse. Emphasis on thought to be. Because the studies, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, are not nearly enough for taking this conclusion for granted. Now, no doctor will ever tell you that it's 100% safe to have unprotected sex with undetectable people. No doctor that wants to keep his license, that is. So they will tell you the probability of transmission is virtually zero. Practically negligible, and so on and so forth with this jargon that gives you the impression that it is zero, but it is not. So why is this happening? Well, undetectable is untransmissible is a campaign, okay? So why are we having this campaign to begin with if it's not entirely accurate? Well, that is because of the law of large numbers. In order to become undetectable, you need to take your medication every day for the rest of your life and get tested regularly to check how much how big is the amount of virus that you have on your blood. That is what it's called viral load. So people kind of have an incentive to take their medication, to take it every day, to get checked. Because, you know, there are a ton of people out there who don't take their medication, who don't get checked, who don't take care for themselves. It's not only people that decide not to take care for themselves. Sometimes it's also people that live with a mental condition that is associated with the fact. So it's not entirely on them. But this gives them an incentive. And if they have an incentive, they take antiviral medication. And what happens is that the infection rate starts to drop down. And, you know, the moment that drop down is bigger of the people that get infected because they believe that undetectable means untransmissible, the moment that drop is bigger, then as a society in the big numbers, we already achieved a better situation in which we were before. The point here is, coffee, mods, the girlies are fighting. What's happening? Well, let me finish discussing what's going on here, okay? Then we can talk about it later on. So, you know, for the greater good, some people will inevitably get sacrificed. And I understand that, but, you know, not here. So, what the fuck does it mean undetectable? Well, I want you to understand one thing. Imagine you have a microscope, okay? And it's not a very good microscope. So it will let you magnify things only until a certain point. So imagine that you're looking at a human cell, for example. You see a circle and basically nothing else. Everything else is blurry. So you say, okay, there is a human cell in there, and that's it. That is because your microscope is not powerful enough to detect that inside the cells there are other things. Like you have your mitochondria, you have your nucleus, you have your Golgi apparatus, you have all of these organelles in there that you cannot see because your microscope is not powerful enough. You cannot detect them because it's not powerful enough. It's not that they're not there because they are there. It's that your instrument is not powerful enough. So people who are undetectable have a viral load in their blood. It's just that it is so small that we cannot detect with our current instruments. Tomorrow, with better instruments, we can detect it and measure it. But right now, with what we have, we cannot. They did some studies. These studies are, in my opinion, flawed because they were studies on people who are couples. They were self-report studies, which means that people went to them telling them, oh yes, I did this and I did that, and there is a lot of things going on with that already. The group was very small. There were a ton of things that didn't really go right, in my opinion, for these studies. Okay? And they checked the rate of transmissions of undetectable people for sexual intercourse. And they came with this campaign. Undetectable means untransmissible. The point that you have to understand here is that people that are undetectable cannot donate blood, for example. Why? Because in a blood-to-blood transfusion, undetectable people will very likely infect other people. So you cannot use it. What does this tell you? Well, that it depends what you are doing. Which means if you are a woman suffering from endometriosis, for example, and if you have it, you know already what I'm talking about, your rate of transmission is going to be very much higher than whatever was measured on the studies that were based on this undetectable equals untransmissible campaign. If you are a man who is suffering for second or third grade hemorrhoids, you're going to be a much higher risk. So, at the end of the day, please understand one thing, okay? If you decide to not protect yourself while you go out there, at least take into account that you are not referring to a life partner. You may be referring to people you never met. You may be referring to people who don't even know. You don't know. In good or bad, you don't know what's going to happen. Now, while undetectable people have a very low rate on transmission, and I believe that when we will get more studies, that rate of transmission will still be very low. If you want to ensure your best chance to be safe out there, you should take PrEP, because the moment you take PrEP and you are having relations with an undetectable person, at that point your chance of being infected, it's like winning the lottery 5 times in a row. It's never going to happen. It doesn't matter how many times you have intercourse. It's never going to happen. But for the moment, if you're listening to this, please keep in mind, those studies were made on couples that trusted each other, couples that took their medication, couples that had a trust relationship. Okay, this is difficult, that meeting a random person and say, oh, don't worry, I'm undetectable, or starting a relation. In addition to that, there is one thing called blips. A blip is a sudden increase on your viral load. And we don't know why it's there. We don't know why it happens, because you take your medication regularly, like everybody else is doing, and then for some reason it spikes up. So, you see, there is a lot more to the story, but these are circumstances that have the potential to impact your life for the rest of your life. Because yes, you can still have a life with medication, you will have a long life with medication, but you have to go through a process that you can avoid if you take a little bit of precaution. So I hope that now that you have a little bit more of information, you will inform yourself even better and protect yourself even better. Now that that has been said, let's move on to our show. Let's move on to the normal things. But you know, I wanted to spend a little bit of time to talk about this. So let's take a moment, okay? Let's take a moment, digest, and go through. And see what's happening with the chat. Emmeline. Highly recommend checking out this book called The Red Market. There's a great chapter in there on how medical studies in general are so fucked up, especially since you can make a career out of being a trial patient. There are many things that don't work in medical research, okay? But on average, it works. On average, it works. My point here is that the mere thought of some of our younger viewers in here making some fucked up decision because they heard this message again and they think, yeah, oh, it's okay, it's you know, it doesn't sit right with me. These are also occasions to, you know, talk about topics, expand on things that are important for our generation, that were important for the generation before us, and they will be important for the generation that comes after us. Okay, so we can go one step forward and say, yes, undetectable is a very good thing. But also, you know, if you are in this kind of situations, you are more at risk, so you can take more protection and live as normal of life as you can be. Anton, it's still important to remind people that you cannot be infected via... Well, I hope we are already there. I mean, you need fluid-to-fluid contact. Come on. I hope. Then, you know, if they still don't want to understand that... Emmeline, you are a good dad to children. It's an important conversation. We appreciate having a space for it. Thank you. It's also important for me because I felt guilty the first time that I didn't talk about it. Gothboy, for what I recall searching UU a while ago, is that the U level varies between countries too. In some, the viral load classes as undetectable. In some, the viral load that classes as undetectable is higher than others. These are new things. But listen, I do understand why it's happening, because we are in a level in which we don't really reason as single people anymore. We reason as a population. So if a situation in general makes the population healthier, then some eggs will have to be broken in order to do it, and it is acceptable. Okay? It's just not acceptable for me in this space, that it's my space with my viewers. And I want to, go more in detail and explain things a little bit better. That's the whole thing. Maggie, I'm sure Raven uses melanin injection. Oh my God. Maggie, thank you so much for lightening the mood. Because sometimes we talk about this that a serious topic, and it's not that the mood goes down, but it changes the mood and makes it very serious. So thank you for reminding us that Raven entered dark mode again. Oh, Mario, bottom line, there is a lot of other shit out there, and protecting yourself is a necessity. Yes, that's what I always say. Whore yourself as much as you want. Live your life, especially when you're young. Do your experience. The body that you have at 20, you will not have it at 30, 40, or 50 anymore. So put it to good use. Have fun, explore the world, but protect yourself. Protect yourself and protect the people around you. That's as basic as it gets. I'm not here to judge anyone for whoring themselves out. What's the problem? Have fun. Have fun. Now, come on. We come from generations after generation of people who had experience with one person. Never really even understood what an orgasm is. Especially women. That's why feminists were so vocal back in the 30s and the 40s, So that they just discovered it. I'm joking, of course. So, live your life. Just be responsible. Be responsible. Okay, let's go on with the review, and let's go to the runway. Now, I'm going to have a controversial opinion on this, again, but the dress that I hated the most, and I hated it the most, I literally hated the dress, was Hell of a Day's dress. I really disliked that fucking dress. I mean, is it here? There it is. I hated it. It's the fabric, it's all fucked up. The sewing is shoddy at best. The thing fits badly. She's trying to look sexy, but she has this botched ass. I don't know what was she thinking when she was padding, but the fabric is too hard. It's not stretching. It's not hugging her booty. And then she has this cap on. And when you had the kind of cap on, I'm like, yes, of course, I get it that you went through the trouble of sewing it a little bit, but to me, you are covering up your shape. You're covering yourself up. So I was furious with this dress, not to mention the makeup. But for the makeup, I am a little bit more understanding. Because, you paint differently when you are coming in front of cameras than what you're used to when you perform live. So I do understand, especially if the judges are not really given feedback and say, listen, the camera is picking you up a little bit more. You remember they used to do it. The camera is picking you up a little bit more. You might want to go a little bit light. So I'm giving her a pass on the makeup. But I hated the dress. This was the worst one out of all of them. It looks bad. It looks lazy. I cannot even say, okay, it's bad, but at least you put the effort in it. It doesn't look like effort at all. It looks like you covered up and I'll fuck up. So, I really don't like it. I really don't like it. Yes, Weaselman, yes. 8 is a strong word. I shouldn't have used it. But I really don't like it. I really don't like it. Then, of course, we have a ton of other dresses who are completely fucked. Like River Medway, I didn't like it. Crystal, I did like it. I know that she received a ton of effort. And I think... a ton of help. And I think, yes, that should be taken into account. And it could be because I'm very naive fashion-wise, so it looks very fashionable to me. I don't know if you have, if you're knowledgeable about fashion, you might be like, you don't understand shit. And I will take it. It's true, I don't. but it looked very fashionable to me. It looked good. It wasn't a bad dress. I wouldn't go as far as call it the best on the runway, but it looked a solid, safe, maybe even high for that dress. I appreciated that. What else didn't I like? I didn't like Veronica's outfit. It was a complete mess. The concept, the sketch that she made was really good, but then the execution was completely fucked. All of these tissues that she had completely hid her shape. It made her shapeless, you know. If she reduced those by 90%, it would have already looked better. But maybe she didn't have something to go under it anymore. She didn't have time to make something proper to go under it anymore. And in a way, I also feel sorry, because I'm like, I know what it's like not being able to say no when people ask you for help. Not because it happens to me, don't worry. I learned that lesson. So I can be bitchy, I can be like, listen, no hard feelings, but fuck off, I need to think about me. But my partner is like this. And he always pays the price, and I always have to cover his ass because he's unable to say no. So one way or the other, I am condemned to live in this situation. And it's okay, it's fine. But, you know, Veronica, she should have used her time better, because she basically gave a golden opportunity for the producer to boot her off. And you know already what happened in the episode before. I literally had no idea they would go for Veronica already this episode, but it looks like an opportunity came and they took it already. And bye-bye Veronica, and let somebody else's shine. I didn't really like Choriza's outfit. It wasn't as bad as Hella for me, but it wasn't good. There is very little about it. And I didn't like River's outfit. But River was given a pass. As usual, she was given another pass. I mean, by this point, I don't know. I don't understand what the hell they're doing. I mean, take, for example, Vanity, okay? I didn't like Vanity's dress, but at least I can see the effort behind it. Like Veronica's dress, I didn't like it either, but I can see the effort. So, yes, it's ugly, but, you know, on par with other ugly dresses, at least I can say you put the effort. You fucked up, but you put the effort. With River, I don't even see the effort. So I'm like, well, what the fuck are we talking about? And she was given a pass again. So then Scarlett wins. In a way, I kind of agree. I like Kitty's outfit. I liked Charity's outfit, but Scarlett, I don't know. There was something about Scarlett. It was simple. I agree with it. It had a very good shape. She is one of the few queens that actually has a good shape in that runway next to Kitty. So I do understand why she won, but I want to give a shout out to Phoenix, because she was right. The word of blanket-made dresses will never be the same after Utica. Because if you put Scarlett next to Utica, you're like, Scarlett, bottom two. I'm sorry, bottom two. Because Utica is right there. Do you remember? I didn't have time to grab a picture and put them side by side so that you could see it, but I completely agree with it. Luis Felipe, Choriza's look story was the best part. Yes, it was entertaining. What wasn't entertaining is that they said at some point in the critique, they were like, oh, your story was funny, you're safe. I'm like, yeah, okay, I like Choriza, but I want to see her shine because she deserves it. Yeah, this is about dress. This is not about story. And who tells me that other people didn't have hilarious stories that just were cut out in post-production? So what is it? A runway as and a story during the critiques? I thought it was a dress and a runway. You make a dress, you present it on the runway, and, you know, that's it. I don't know. Gothboy UK, Choriza and printed onto the fabric, and it was totally ignored. She end printed? What do you mean by that? Because I don't think I even saw that. I even noticed that. I was so triggered by what was going on with Veronica and River that I completely blanked for a moment. Jason, Utika's look was from a sleeping bag, not a blanket. Yeah, you're right. They're technically different, but it's the same thing. Things that goes on the bed for sleeping. So, for me, it's basically the same. Emmeline, the red hearts on the dress were hand-painted. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, she put effort. There is no doubt about that. So, Vanity. Yes, Vanity. My God. So, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. River gets another pass. Charity gets completely ignored. She was just safe, even though for me she was deserving of a high position, not a win. I will not go as far as saying it was a win, because it's still a runway with two dresses. But yeah, she was high to me, but she gets completely ignored. She doesn't even get critiqued, She doesn't even get a chance to actually stand there and be in the spotlights for good or bad. Nothing of the sort. Just, you're safe, bye. And that's it. Bye, Charity. Second time again. Then in the bottom, we have Veronica and Vanity. Vanity in the bottom for no apparent reason whatsoever. Because, there's plenty of bad dresses in that runway. And they had 2 dresses. So I'm like, what the fuck is Vanity doing in there? For me, the bottom should have been River and Veronica. That was the bottom for me. And then, in addition, on this kind of the same level, but a little bit better, I would put Ella and Choriza as low/bottom. But for me, the bottom was River and Veronica. Veronica dropped the ball. I'm sorry, but you can fuck it up so many times before you finally come to a point in which you say, well, you need to be in the bottom. Lip sync for your life. River continues getting pass after pass after pass after pass. And I know what you're thinking. But he is so cute. He is so nice. Yes, he is cute and he is nice. But the moment you put a magnifying lens on his performance and start quantifying it, you're like, oh, well, yes, I kind of see your point. So, that's that. Well, we're going to go to the prediction in a moment. Anyway, where are we? There we go. Let's go to the lip sync. Now, for me, Veronica won this lip sync. I'm starting to think that I really don't like the way Vanity lip syncs. Maybe it might be that. But for me, Veronica won this lip sync. The editing of the lip sync was awful. Veronica was shown all of the time in the background. You have shots from the left, shots from the right. You always see Vanity in the foreground and Veronica in the background. And that doesn't happen by chance. That's a technique, because it puts the other queen as if she doesn't really matter. They have 3 to 5 cameras in there. If they wanted to show Veronica with the first shot, they could have done it. And they only did it once or twice. The rest were shots in which she was in the background. So, the moment I started seeing those shots once, twice, thrice, she's done for. She is done for. So, it is how it is. But when, they're going to apply the same techniques over and over again. So when the next lip sync comes and you see someone that is shown being in the background, you see, basically they have a little, almost an equal amount of time for both contestants during the lip sync. So you see one contestant that already received a long shot. And you know that the camera at this point has to go to the other contestant. And the other contestant is shown in the background. And that happens again, then it's going to go home. So unfortunately, Veronica goes home. And I'm really pissed. I am frustrated. I also feel sorry because I was expecting more. I wanted a little bit more, not only for the expenses of having to go through 2 seasons of Drag Race. And, but it is how it is. Let's hope that losing is the new winning. But, I don't know if the UK market reacts the same way. as the US market does. So I don't know. What I can tell you is that I will throw some dollars at her. I know it's not going to make much of a difference, but if there's enough of us doing it, it will. So let's go through some of the comments. I saw some of the comments. Luca says, do you think Victoria would have done well in this challenge if she was competing? I have no idea. I would have loved to see Victoria in an acting challenge. You know, one of those where the queens actually write their own scripts and are allowed to do their own comedy properly done. I would have liked that. And I would have loved to see Veronica sing. But Vitriol, how can you say River over Vanity? River had a good night. I hated River's first... Why do I say hate when I don't mean it? I really didn't like River's first dress. I thought it was the worst on the runway as a first dress next to Veronica's. But River was worse. And the second outfit not only didn't look good, it also looked lazy to me. So that's why I come to this conclusion. Maggie, Veronica was gay just from the neck down. Her head was in a black hole though. Oh, Veronica. Gothboy UK, I thought Veronica won too. There was a weird cut where she warped from the right to the stage, then to the back. You know, we could spend hours going through lip syncs frame by frame. And I know if you are like me, we will probably have the time of our lives. Then everybody else would be bored as hell. Vitral Vic, Veronica totally won that lip sync. I have a feeling they sent her home because they knew she didn't come prepared enough to win. You think so? You see how different people come to different conclusions, because that is a reasonable possibility considering the fact that we saw what she served as a first dress on that runway, and she also talked about being broke. But for me, it's more like they kicked her out because she was going to outshine somebody else. That's what I thought about it. But what you say makes sense. I mean, and the two things don't really mutually exclude each other, so there might be more to that story, yes. Gothboy UK, Veronica has already done TV and an online advert alongside Tia and another queen. Oh yes, it was for an alcoholic beverage. I don't remember which one it is, but I saw it. It was quite a big name. Yes, it was. It was a cream... liquor, but I don't remember what it was. Rashid, Yakov's fashion was better than Veronica. No! Poor Veronica. Poor Veronica. Come on, no, it wasn't. It was. When it comes to Tia Coffee, it's basically all personality. And I love that. You can buy dresses. You cannot buy a personality. Fantasia, I don't know why Vanity keeps wearing those ugly-ass orange wigs. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to predictions, okay? Won't be very long. We are basically done, and then we move on to our kiki time. Maybe take a little bit of a pause. You can go smoke a cigarette if you still smoke. Go to the toilet. No more energy drink for me, otherwise I will fall asleep at 4 in the morning. So, final predictions. For me, and I told you already during the videos already, that I think by this point Crystal is going to be for sure in the top 4. That's something that there is not a discussion there. There has been so much proof that at this point she has to be in that top 4. I am not sure what they're going to do with their storyline, because again, they could have crafted a very convincing storyline, because most of the time she is so young and inexperienced that you can literally take her by the hand and make her act her storyline throughout the competition. It would even look natural because, you know, she would probably fall for it. And they didn't go for that. Instead, they had a complete redemption episode for her in episode 2, and then it ended there. It was like, okay, Crystal's storyline is done. Let's move on to somebody else. This is the only queen that I am 100% sure that will be in, well, 100 no, but 99.99% sure that she will be in the top 4. Everybody else, it's more a feeling than something that I can say there is definitive proof. Because in this 3 episodes, we saw some things happening that might be indicative, but nothing as definitive as what we saw with Crystal. Now, for me, queens that have no chance to go in the top 4 at all, for me, it's going to be Charity. They passed on her twice again. They keep robbing her of screen time. She also, this episode, told her story, so they could have crafted the beginning of a storyline for her during this episode. They didn't. And it's the second time that this happens. So by this point, for me, there is no doubt. Charity, they're going to get rid of her at some point or another. Same with Choriza. It looks like they are using her as that queen who is the comic relief of the season. And that's their job. Nothing else. They will never win anything. They will never reach the top 4. They will just be, you know, the Katya of this. Well, Katya did win a challenge, thank God. So I don't know, maybe they will give her a win. But it's the comical relief, you know. Every time they have a chance to, you know, to actually elevate her a little bit, it's not there. Doesn't matter. I'm not as sure with Choriza as with Charity, because the moment I saw what they did with Charity, I was like, oh my god, shit, why didn't I notice that? How could I not notice that? And you know, they were right. They were right, because Charity is the queen that I am like 99% sure that she will never ever get to the top 4. Like, there is no contest. With Choriza, I'm like 90%. With Charity is 99. Now, everybody else, if they did indeed go for the obvious and switched Victoria's placement with Kitty, because she's the only other big girl in there, then Kitty is going to be in the top 4, because Victoria was definitely going to be in that top 4. I am not 100% positive on this. I'm going by gut feeling, but if that's what they did, and that would have been the smart thing to do considering the time constrictions, then Kitty is going to be there. Also, she's getting more screen time, which can point in that direction. Now, for the other 2 queens that I am absolutely not sure about, but I only saw hints, there is Scarlet, that absolutely skyrocketed this episode. How possible it is? I would say 50-50 at this point, because I only watched this episode. I didn't notice anything going on with Scarlet 2 episodes before, so I'm just shooting in the dark. And the second one, River, because why the hell are they continue to save her over and over and over again? This episode 3 was the second time that they saved her ass out of nowhere. They should have read her to filth. Nothing. They should have at least critique her. Nothing. Like, zero. She has an edit that really reminds me of season 6 Adore Delano in the beginning. Do you remember that there were like 2 or 3 challenges in the beginning in which you knew that Adore deserved the bottom? Instead, she was allowed to skate through. So this, to me, could be what's happening to River. And if that is true, she's the 4th queen there in the top. These are the best predictions that I can give you based on what I've seen so far. If I kept watching the season, we could refine the predictions, find more proof. Maybe if I scored a confessional, we would have even more proof to try to understand who they're going to bring to the top and the kind of storylines they give them. But this is the best that I can give you at the moment. Next week, I will move on to Canada. Drag Race UK, fuck off. I am done. I am done. If people come to me like in 6 months and tell me it turned out to be great, yes, surely I will give it another chance. For the moment, I am triggered enough the way it is. So consider this live stream as my goodbye to UK season 3. That, I know, the curse of Down Under will never stop. And they filmed Down Under, then UK season 3, then International All Stars. And you know what this means, right? If they keep the trend, then International All Stars, it's going to be complete shit. I hope not. I hope what they did was concentrate on International All-Stars and fuck up the main season, which is the same thing that happened with the US version, because All-Star 6 in general was of very good quality. Season 13 was complete shit. So I expect season 3 of Drag Race UK to be complete shit, and then a very good season of International All-Stars, also called Drag Race UK versus the World, or however they decided to call it. I don't remember. A couple of comments. Luis Felipe, Choriza is the Tia Coffee of the season. Nightmare, I think River could get the underdog edit or being used as a contrast to Scarlett's storyline and be sent home before the end. But I think it's more likely she gets favored. Well, I didn't notice much going on between River and Scarlett. What I did notice was a little bit going on between River and Crystal. Because River was allowed to come in a confessional and say, I'm not going to help Crystal for this, and this reason. It could be because the two of them are going to have a storyline together, or it could be because they wanted to put emphasis on the fact that Veronica was helping Crystal and she was basically fucking up because she let herself concentrate on other people's works instead of her own. So it could be either way. Without more information, it's very difficult to know. Wisdoman, season 14 is yet to come. Don't forget. Season 14, it's going to go. When is it going to air? Season 14. Isn't it coming like on January, February, like last year? Because season 12 came, I think, like in late February, March. And then season 13 came the 1st of January. So I think they're going to take that time slot again. So, yeah, basically 2 months away. There's all the time in the world to watch Dragula. Rashi, International All-Star sounds better than UK versus the world. I agree. I think that the title was ugly as sin, but it could have to do with the fact that it's been speculated that it's a joint production between the BBC and World of Wonder. So that might explain the title. Maggie, just blame it on the edit. They always blame it on the edit. Always blame it. They did nothing wrong. Where is that soundbite?
She wanna blame it on the edit.
Fantasia, cut it out, Top. Watch it without. No, I'm not going to watch it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. Maybe in 2 or 3 weeks when I calm down a little bit. Really, because I don't have a good time. I get hangry. And this is entertainment. It's supposed to be fun, you know? You're supposed to have a good time. I mean, if I was making like Bass's level of money during reviews, then I would do it. Then I would definitely do it. I would go through it. But you know, like 95% of the support that comes from this channel is my motivation to keep it up. You know? Because it's not economically viable. So at least I want to have fun. If I don't have fun, what's the point? Blake, which queen are you hoping to see in International All-Stars? That is going to be interesting, because which queens are even allowed to participate? Like, are we going to see queens that already participated on All-Stars? Or is it only opened to queens in the US who have been on All-Stars? Or is it open to everybody? Because, you know, we had All-Stars only for Drag Race US. Everybody else that comes from other iteration of the show, they never had an All-Stars. So is there a line there? Does it make a difference? Who can I nominate? Because, you know, from the US, I think it would be a missed opportunity for a queen that comes from a very, very early season to go in such a difficult season to compete with. Like, for example, I think if Kylie would have gone to International All-Stars instead of the normal season of All-Stars, would it have turned out the same exact way? I don't know. I don't know. So I would like to see queens that already have been on All-Stars. possibly the early seasons of All Stars. Now, I know that we're never going to see Mimiam first because, you know, everything that happened. But maybe some more queens from season 2 of All Stars, you know? Or season 3, I'd like to see Roxy again. I'd like to see, believe it or not, I'd like to see a little bit more of Milk and see where the fuck are we going. Thorgy as well. I mean, not too many queens from All Stars 2, All Star 3, but, you know, it wouldn't be bad. But taking a queen that's not even been on All Stars, from the US I'm talking about, that's been there from a very early season. It's already difficult to compete on normal All-Stars. Imagine international All-Stars. Nightmare, I'm currently watching a Mexican show called La Más Draga on YouTube. Yes, I heard about it. It's riggory like every reality, but it's the 4th season. But it's the 4th season and still feels raw and exciting. I highly recommend. Yes, I don't know who recommended that show to me already. U.S.C, I'm going to watch it now. I will let you know how mad I get. Okay. Okay, you know, if you need to vent, we always have the Discord. RPDR things. I heard that UK versus the world, US queens have already had to have been on All Stars to be on. That makes sense. That makes sense. Barbara Jones, we can live react. There will be so many opportunities for sound bites. Oh my god. Yeah, I would like to have live viewing parties. I really would like it. The problem is they're going to fuck us up for copyright, and they are not completely wrong, because in Europe, reaction videos are not fair use. And I understand why. In the US they are, but in Europe they are not, and I am from Europe. What can be done would be to watch and discuss an episode together if everyone is synchronized and watching, you know, the same things that they found on their own at the same time. That can be done. That can be done. It would kind of sound awkward from somebody from the outside, but that could be done, can be arranged. Gothboy UK, the drag singing contest should be out soon. Also, the show with Peppermint and Crystal and another queen that I cannot recall because I didn't know her is coming out. It's called Call Me Mother. I'm very curious of seeing what's going to happen in there. So you see, you know, it's not like there's only Drag Race UK. So for me, it's like you fuck up production. I'm watching something else. There is competition now, and if it's better, you know, now you have an incentive to make a better show. And if you cannot afford it, that make less show. You know, less quantity, more quality. It's better for everyone. The queens, us, the viewers, not for them, because they don't make more money. RPDR things. Well, RuPaul's new album is coming out in January 7. Which is coincidentally a Friday, so I think it's safe to assume that's good reasoning right there. I'm completely on board with that. And I think you're onto something. It could very well be. Could very well be. Maggie, I just want Jujubee to appear for the 4th time. No, I mean, I love Jujubee, but that's enough. Come on. By this point, why didn't they give Jujubee a spin-off of Drag Race? What's the point in bringing queens over and over and over again? I mean, I love Jujubee. She comes from my favorite season of Drag Race. She has one of the best solo lip-sync performances in 2,500 seasons of the show. I'm completely on board with her. But a 4th time, I mean, come on. The shade, Tatiana. There's never enough Tatiana. But if she comes back and doesn't win, I'm going to be real pissed. Wizardman, we should hold a karaoke night so you can get a ton of sound bites. Yeah, that's something that we're going to do. Sooner or later, we are going to do it. It has to happen. It's inevitable. It has to happen. Barbada, yes. Thank you, RPDR things. Thank you. Barbada, that is the 3rd queen. So I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen there. VCam9, Shangela for All Stars International. That's another queen that would come back for the 4th time. That's so much. Did you call her Shangela? I thought she was called the second queen of Puerto Vallarta. You remember when I told you that I would use the same attitude toward everyone? I meant it. I meant it. Gothboy UK, I'm so excited for Call Me Mother. It's very representative of a larger drag spectrum. I am not as excited as for Dragula, because I've been appetizing Dragula for 2 years now, and when they served that fucking resurrection, I was dead. I was found dead. It was amazing. It was so good. I am so excited for Dragula. It's unbelievable. I cannot fucking wait. I didn't feel like this in ages, for anything drag. You know, it's kind of even like I forgot that this kind of excitement existed. I thought I was excited for other things, but I wasn't. This is what excitement really feels like, and then I have it for Dragula. I'm so impatient. I keep rewatching things and follow everything around it. Oh my god. I just like it. I'm a huge fan of horror, always has been. Fantasia, oh god, I forgot I'm logged in as my mom, Barbara Jones, on the phone, so you just killed me saying her name. Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I read something from Barbara Jones? Could be. Could be. Well, you know, you fucked it up, Fantasia. But you know, you can always...
She wanna blame it on the edit.
Blame it on the edit. Nightmare, I want to see Chanel in International All-Stars. I'm not that huge fan of Chanel. Fantasia, she's gonna be pissed with all this drag shit on her YouTube recommendation. Just delete the history. Just delete the history, and it will completely reset the recommendations. RPDR things. I'm actually very excited for Queen of the Universe. Tapings are live and like 4-6 episodes are filmed. The songs are very good and I heard it's very high quality and good. Can you believe that I never heard of that? Yes, I'm that disconnected. But I'm going to check it out. Yuri, to be honest, I never watched Dragula before, but knowing J. Jolie is there, I'm going to take a look at it. You have to like horror. That is the point of Dragula, because, I mean, of course, if you like drag, if you like, very inclusive drag, and different out-of-the-box drag, of course, Dragula is appealing. But you have to understand, the centerpiece of all of that is the horror concept. So if you actively dislike horror, it doesn't matter how much I praise Dragula, you're not going to like it. And I'm not going to lie to you and be delusional and say, it's great, you're going to like it. If you don't like horror, it's, very, very difficult. But it's a great alternative to Drag Race. It's something different from Drag Race, and it covers a niche that Drag Race decided not to cover anymore. So I'm happy that a show like that is there. Very happy. Gothboy UK, one thing to say, Hoso Teratoma, they can really terrify with one glance. Actually, the one that I am attracted the most to is, oh my god, what's her name? I start to get at 2 a.m. in the morning, I forgot names. Formaldehyde. She looks terrifying to me. She looks really terrifying. So I'm hoping to see more, and of course I'm very curious about Jade. She was like very vocal, talking about, well, it's been like 10 years, drag evolve, people evolve, start do different things, maybe find themselves a little bit better. So she hopes that people will be open to take in what they see. For me, I am like completely open to see what's going on there. Johnny, I'm so excited for Dragula. The new season is going to be iconic. I hope so bad. I hope so bad. Fantasia, you're giving Dracula Resurrection too much credit. Fantasia, you need to be medicated. You know, Grandma, you cannot come here in this condition. There is something... I'm kidding, but you really didn't like it, you know? For me, it was amazing. It was amazing. I could see that production was going in a direction. I'm not stupid, and I'm not going to hide it. But it's still a compromise that I can work with. Because, you know, Dracula is going mainstream, so of course you have to compromise. But it's a very good compromise. Comparing to what's happening to Drag Race, it's an incredible compromise. Blake Robinson International was filmed before Down Under Spain, so we only have Canada, Holland, and Thailand. But it will be interesting for season 2 since there are new franchises. International was filmed after Down Under. They filmed Down Under, then they filmed UK, and then they filmed International. Nina Flowers for International All-Stars. Can we have Tammy Brown at this point? I mean, I love Nina, but Tammy is iconic. And didn't RuPaul stole the walking children in nature thing? And Tammy is an icon. She is the first one who went to RuPaul and showed her a middle finger. And still came back for All Stars. And then never heard of again. Do we have still some liquid energy? Yes, we do. Oh, good lord. So yes, I'm extremely excited about Dracula, and I hope I can get all of these videos out before, so that I can at least live stream. You know, that I can at least come on live stream and we can talk about it. Episodes, I don't know if I will have time for that, because it's still more editing and I still have so much work behind. So much. I need an editor. I need to make money and be able to hire an editor. Or just take my partner and just say, listen, you need to learn editing. I cannot do all the editing. I mean, yes, we have some great ideas, some great concepts, at least, you know, from my point of view, but, you know, editing, it's... I mean, I like live streaming. I have no problem being the voice of the channel. It's completely fine with me. I like it. I enjoy it. But, you know, yeah, editing could use a hand. Mario, Ru can't walk children in nature. They would ask question about the fracking. He'll be like, Mama, what's that smell? What is that smell coming? Wait a moment, is it burning? It's fine, don't worry. We're just venting some gas. Oh, good lord. Amateur season, welcome. VCam9, if they can't do that for Tammy Brown, they could do that for Pearl on internet. Oh no, Pearl is done for. Pearl is done for. And if she wasn't done before, when she made that, my god, that reaction video. My god. And she kept on doubling down, you know. Every chance Pearl has, she shits on RuPaul. And that's one of the reasons why I like Pearl so much. It's like she doesn't give a shit. She's like, wait a moment, I don't care. I don't care, fuck off. You know, I'm not here trying to spread hate or anything else, but at some point you need to. For me, it always comes to a point in which I think, what could you do versus what you are actually doing, and based on that relation, that's the way I relate to you. You know. I don't expect people to do things that are completely outside of her reach, but RuPaul could do so much. And even if she decided not to do so much, she could undo so much damages. And she's doing nothing of all of this. And I really reached the point in which I'm like, you know what? Drag Race is bigger than RuPaul. Let's get another host. Yeah, it's going to be difficult in the beginning, but I mean, Drag Race is so iconic that it can perfectly survive a change of host. I mean, we survived leaving Santino behind. And at the time it happened, people got completely crazy. And now what's happening? That people are completely in love with Ross. I love Ross. Ross, yes. No, I don't love Ross. I used to love Ross. I meant Carlson. You know? So it's okay. Change is part of life. Let's get a new host. Let's get Bianca Del Rio. Or hell, I'll even take Trixie Mattel. Blake, what I meant was that Down Under and Spain had not aired when international contestants were being picked. Oh, okay. So they were not eligible to be on season 2. Okay, I got you. Well, you have to understand me. It's like 2 in the morning, and it's been a very eventful live stream. Which can tell, you know, I'm also running out of voice. I'm starting to feel the voice going down, which always happens when I vape. The last time I quit smoking, I started vaping. For some reason, my throat didn't really fully adapt to it. And so, you know, I started losing a little bit my voice. It started to become more difficult, you know. Because if I don't try to help it there, then I get to talk into this. That's what happens when I'm... It could also be because I've not been on live stream for like 5 weeks. So maybe I'm out of shape. My throat is out of shape. My God. My throat is out of shape. Griselda Dominguez. I like your videos. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nightmare. Yes, hilarious. I don't know when Ross Matthews stopped being hilarious. But it happened. It happened. Weasel, I sent a message in the gossip channel regarding Victoria Scone saying goodbyes to the Queen. You did? Let me go to the Discord. Quick to the Discord. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, under the gossip section? Oh my God, Weasel is sassy tonight. It tagged me and said, I said it on stream in the chat too, but you looked over my comment and went straight to the next one. I'm like, Weasel, do you realize that I have 2 screens? One with the chat, and on the other one I have my notes, then I have my streaming software, then I have the browser opened, then I have VLC opened with the video in case we wanted to go through the videos. Then I have another browser opened because I wanted to show you this and then I didn't show it to you. But since we are at it, I'm going to show it to you. Here it is. Somebody stole the parrot of Tempest du Jour, which is really fucked up. And I wanted to use this to tell you, well, if you really need to hate someone, hate this piece of shit of a person who stole somebody else's pet. So I have a ton of things open around me, and the chat keeps scrolling. I am bound to miss comments. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Weasel. But let me tell you something. Whenever in doubt...
Call you get rigged. You said you did. Wait.
Top is definitely going to use that in the next video.
But I forgive you because you gave me an amazing soundbite. But yes, I am bound to lose comments. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to never lose is the super chat, because you know, if people give you money, you cannot afford to forget their comments. I mean, it would be disgraceful. But I am going to lose comments from time to time in the chat. But what's the problem? I mean, there are people. The normality out there is that people don't even let you comment if you're not like a member of the channel or other bullshit like that. I don't know. Weasel, Stop whining. You're annoying. Anyway, I'm going to post the link because I'm not sure that that anybody can post links so that you can see what Weasel shared. And this is a good thing. This is a good thing if she had a chance to say goodbye. But it would have been nice, as I said before, it would have been nice if they showed her, you know, saying goodbye as part of the main episode. Because not everybody will be on social media. I mean, I even review this shit and didn't see that. So, you know, it's not the same thing. It should have been in the episode. Carrie, so happy you guys are still here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Yes, we're still here. We're going to go for a little bit more until I have voice. Weasel, anyways, yes, about Victoria Scone. She didn't get to say goodbye. She only left Charity a note. Weasel, go to study. Go to study. You don't need to fail any more exams. You know? Be nice. Be nice. Jason, did you see the interview with the princess? She said because she was an early out girl, she doesn't have the money to do All-Stars, and for that reason, it doesn't make it an even playing field. Yes, I know. I know that it doesn't make it even. And I would love for production to organize things in a way in which the availability of money that you have doesn't really make such a difference on your ability to compete. I would love for something to be done about that, but I am not even sure. And, you know, I'm always in for shitting on World of Wonder, but I also have to give it to them that it's a difficult problem to tackle, because what do? Do you give them money? And then what if they keep the money and don't actually buy dresses? Or what if they don't get to use all of the money? And what do? They get to keep the rest? Then they need to file taxes differently. You need to file taxes differently. And what about those who can have deals with stylists, for example? Will they spend that money, or will the deal be considered? It's not as trivial as it looks. Just saying, you know, give them 20,000 and we'll see what happens. And I get it; it's a difficult problem. Nevertheless, when you hear situations like this, maybe it would be worth spending a little bit of time and trying to find a solution, wouldn't it? Gothboy UK, there's no reason why they couldn't have videos of a goodbye from the hospital. Yes, I completely agree. I completely agree. Fulani, more sewing challenges, yes. Definitely, but you know, today's drag queens, it's like if you can find one that can sew, you should already be grateful for that. And I do understand times have changed, the market has changed, but you know, Virtual Vic, WoW should provide the costumes for all the queens at this point. Yes, that could be a solution, and not use runways as a way to judge them. The problem is that runway are such an integral part of Drag Race. Probably one of the most important ones of the show. It's the face of the show. You know, these incredibly intricate costumes. It didn't happen by chance that at some point in after season 6, they decided to give the queens the runway themes in advance so that they could prepare, because they knew how successful runway are going to be. So it has that wow factor that they cultivated over time, and that exactly started the moment they started giving the girls the runway list. Victoria, I don't think production is interesting in leveling the playfield. RuPaul literally screamed at Joe Black for wearing an H&M dress for the challenge after not working for 7 months. Yeah, it generates drama. I can see that. But you know, dreaming is free, right? So let's dream. at least we can vent all together. We don't get upset so much. We don't get triggered so much. At least we have our little space to say, yes, it would be nice if they did this and they did that. And then, we all know it will never be applied. But at least we get to talk about it. Melanie, maybe a spending cap, like you are not allowed to bring more than X amount of drag with you. I feel that at one point, maybe no longer, there was a limit to the amount of baggage. I heard queens talking about 2 baggages, but I think that was like season 5, maybe season 4. It was very, very early on. Because, I mean, we are talking about 30 dresses for the show alone, and I'm being generous by saying 30 because I think for season 13 I counted 34 or 35, not to mention all the backup drag that these queens bring with them. Sometimes you hear a queen saying, yes, this was not really my choice of dress, it was my backup dress. So it's a ton of shit. When you see that, I like when when you see them going away with these 2 baggages. I'm like, where are the other 8? Come on, let's be honest. Where are the other 8? Bring the pit crew in their underwear and let them drag those baggages. At least we get to see the pit crew every once in a while. At least in the U.S. season. Griselda, production doesn't care about the queen's well-being. Oh yes, they showed them. Unless they are called out for it. Then somehow they start caring. And and I get it, it's business. It's business. But there is savage business and there's honorable business. And the choice is up to you. And based on whatever you choose, I will start, getting some conclusions on the kind of person that you are. Let's give it a little vape. A little bit of vape keeps you off the cigs. By the way, did we take a second pause? Because I don't remember. Since I don't go out for smoking anymore, I don't keep track of pauses anymore. I remember I was saying we are going to take another pause. Did we take another pause? I don't think so. But it's okay. It's okay. What's popping up on the Discord? Oh my god. Victoria, I feel so bad for any of the Drag Race UK queens who spent 1,000 for literally €0. Oh, you mean that they didn't get much out of Drag Race? Well, in a way I do understand what happened last year. It was inevitable. It really was inevitable. What can you do? I mean, at some point, it's also a good thing because you can say, listen, I had no control over it. It happened. It's like when you get an earthquake. What control do you have over it? Sometimes you can find peace in realizing that you don't have control over everything. It's not like you have to control everything all of the time. Sometimes you cannot control some things. And it's okay, because it's not your responsibility if you cannot control it. So, in a way, they shouldn't feel really guilty for the way the season went last year, especially also for Lawrence, for example. 6 months of rain. After all the bullshit that happened, what can you do? What can you do? And you also have to understand, it's not like the BBC could do much, because when a show airs on TV, now if it's streaming, the rules of the game are a little bit different. But if it's streaming, but if it is TV, the TV slots are decided like 18 to 24 months in advance, from our perspective, it looks like a show exists the moment they announce it, or the moment they announce that they are filming it. But from a production perspective, these are really things that are decided 18 months, 24 months, 36 months in advance, that you know that you will have this many episodes, they will air in this specific time slots, in this specific days. And you cannot really change it. So, you know, yes, they could have postponed Drag Race. It would have been madness. I mean, think about the BBC changing all the time slots for Lawrence. I mean, I do understand that it was not going to happen. Still, they could have done something with it, you know, saying things like, okay, you have only been there for 6 months. You know what? We are inviting you for doing the reviews for the show. So you will review with Bimini and, you know, and you will do it every week. And you will be paid for it. Because remember, the winner of Drag Race UK will get to fly an all-paid trip to the US so that they can work for free for World of Wonder for an online series or whatever. I'm like, pay them. It's not difficult. Sorry, I lost the chat. John Young, could you please share the Discord link? I am so sorry. I am terrible. It's in the description of the live stream, isn't it? It should be in the description of the live stream, but I'll also post the link in the chat. If I can... Description... Let me check first if it's in the description of the live stream, because maybe I'm saying bullshit. Yes, it is in the description. I will also post it here in the chat. There we go. Emmeline, all right, kids, I gotta buckle down and finish up my work garbage. Hope everyone has a safe, happy, and healthy weeks. And thank you for the vid and the Kiki. Stay well. Thank you so much, Emmeline. See you, I don't know, whenever we come back on live stream. Probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Victoria, it's under the Patreon, wink, wink. See, I'm not sure if the UK Queens get paid a statutory fee per episode. I think it was in the contract. Most of them have full-time jobs or drag shows that miss during filming and will have a loss of income before it airs. Yes, of course. Of course. No, they are paid, because in order to have a contract to begin with, you need to be paid something. They are not registered as employees. Of course, otherwise a ton of shit would become automatically illegal. But they are registered as, how are they called? Free workers. You know, like you do work for hire. Okay, so you are paid a certain amount of money to do something, and that's it. Mario, I'm out too. It's 2 a.m. already. Thanks and good night. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for the support. Gothboy UK, I don't think equity would allow unpaid work. Yes, that's exactly what I meant. I know that it's illegal in here. Unless you are registered as a non-profit organization. In that case, yes, but you don't call it work. You call it I don't know the name in English, but you know, when you work for free for a non-profit, you are donating your work. It's a different thing, but you have to be a non-profit. And of course, it's on a voluntary basis. So the moment you want to stop, you stop, and you have, you know, no volunteering. Thank you. Green Goddess, do you mean interns? No, because intern is something else. Because you are, well, at least in my country, from a law perspective, you are paid back into learning. Okay, like think about it like this: you go to university, okay, 90% of the time you will have to pay a tuition for that. You pay for learning. When you intern, you give your work as a payment. So every country has some form of agreement on that. Like as an intern, you cannot do this many hours, you are entitled to this and to that, but it's not the same thing. They could never register these queens as interns. Can you imagine it? You're participating on Drag Race, performing on Drag Race, and on the contracts you're an intern. It would be gaggy. It would be gaggy. Victoria, do you mean freelancers? Yes. 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 It's like those they are under these kind of contracts as freelancers, which robs them from being entitled from a ton of different things, including not working a maximum amount of hours, depending, of course, on the laws on your state. But I think it's something that we can apply worldwide. If you're employed, you cannot work 60, 70 hours a week. If you don't want to. If you want to work your normal 40 hours, you are entitled to work your normal 40 hours. And they cannot fire you on the basis that you don't want to work more than that. So, Melanie, that would be freelancer or independent contractor. There you see, you even know more than me. Thank you all for contributing and gathering more information. Energy drink, no. But we have some Brita water. Did Weasel go to sleep? We lost him. Thank God, he was so annoying. Rashi, Brita Filter. Yes, we support Brita Filter on this channel. The drag queen and the drinking thing. Not paid. I just like it. I just like it very much. We have very hard water coming from the tap. And, the Brita filter is cheap and it makes the water so good. And then, like a couple of months ago, we bought this soda stream so that we can carbonize the Brita filter water. It's like perfection. It's like perfection. And I stopped buying plastic water in plastic bottles. So I also get to feel good about it and responsible. And I also saved money. It works. It's fantastic. Jason, I gotta go. I'm in Australia. It's 10 a.m. on Monday, so it's time to start my week. Thank you so much for coming, Jason. See you soon. Weaselman, how dare you? The shade of it all. Sen, Weasel, I was just hanging around. Rashi, I joined Discord. Welcome. You're welcome to join on the Discord. If you so much miss me, if you have, if you have this thing in your head, and maybe you miss me, we have game night and general talk on Thursday. No, it's not Thursday anymore. It's on Friday. So feel free to come. Why not? Green Goddess, awesome you stopped buying plastic bottled water. Yes, I would love to say that I am so, environmentally responsible and that's why I did it, but that would be a lie. The real thing that really changed my motivation was the fact that I didn't have to carry the bottles anymore. My fat ass could stay on the chair. That's where all the motivation came from. Then, of course, the fact that you're not contributing with the plastic thing is helpful, but it would be a lie if I told you that's why I did it. Sen, how are you today? I'm good. I'm starting to really run out of voice. I'm not used to it's been more than a month since these live streams, and I'm out of shape. So I'm trying to, I have my water here, try to, nurture my throat a little bit. Tickle it, maybe. Flick it. I don't know. Gothboy UK, Weasel called me grandpa. This is war. Well, we are grandpas in his eyes. You know, Weasel is young. He is like, how old are you, Weasel? Like, 20. Weasel is 20. Weasel, aren't you 50, Goth? My God, Weasel. What are you, 12? Oh my God. We are probably the same age. Weasel is 20. Good. Now everybody knows that Weasel is 20. If you want to date Weasel, Weasel is from Belgium. He is currently single. He is versatile. And is open and willing to learn. You can find him on Discord as Weaselman. Good luck. Melanie, my water is basically liquid rock as well. No good for a bathhouse at all. Yeah, that's the problem with hard water. You know, I don't really like it. It tastes bad. Believe it or not, I'm one of those weirdos who tastes water. And I really don't like the taste of it. I'm sorry if it sounds sexual, but I don't like the feeling that it leaves in my mouth. I don't like it. I really don't like it. That's why I was wrong to buy bottled water. But the Brita filters work really like charm. You know, you pop a filter every 3 weeks because we're like camels. But it does its job very, very well. The only thing that I don't like is that since the filter can accumulate bacteria over time, you cannot really store the bottled water for a long time. So you need to basically make it every day. Because it's inevitable that bacteria will accumulate in the filter. That's why you try to change it like every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on your usage. But now I've established a routine. I wake up, go to the kitchen, make a coffee, and fill the watered bottle for the day. Takes about 5 minutes. Works like a charm. Not a problem for me. It's still better than having to run to the grocery stores and buy water on top of water on top of water. It's such a pain in the ass. Gothboy UK, I'm 42 and proud of it. Well, Weasel is right in calling you Grandpa. Call me Papa. Wind of Gust. After season 13 concluded, I went on Gottmik's Instagram live and called her face a donut again. And I did not feel bad that time. I don't understand. Am I missing something? What's Gottmik has to do with donuts? Weasel confirms 42 is Daddy's age. My God. Is this what we talk about at 2 a.m. in the morning? Can you imagine somebody that doesn't even know what we do, that like subscribed yesterday and thought, you know what, I'm going to check out this live stream. I have nothing better to do. And here's us talking about daddies and grandpas and dating. Good Lord. Weasel, stop whoring yourself around. My God, Weasel. He does the same on the Discord. Oh, no, it's not Weasel. It's Drago. It's like... I hope Drago is not here. I hope he's not hearing me. It's like... I remember who was it was blazing. We were having game night. And Drago, and by the way, thank you, Drago, because he makes drag race games for game night, you know? So he does like Drag Race Wheel of Fortune or Drag Race Jeopardy. And so thank you for that. But one time Blazing came and Drago was interrupted the game out of the blue and was like, oh, Blazing, but by the way, you know that you have a very sexy voice. And that is, he did it again. With Duraludon. I was like, oh my God, Dragon, no. No. Fantasia, there I see you. You're with her account. It's Weaselman and Blazing. Yeah, it's also Drago. Drago started it all. Drago started it all. Gothboy, let's make very clear for legal reason. I'm not sleazing on Weasel. I hold the shoes. Don't worry, Weasel is of legal age and completely open and willing to learn. Barb is back. Hey, Barbara. Oh my god. Flunny, I wish that I could get my audio together to play. Don't worry. Don't worry. You don't need the audio 90% of the time, even 95% of the time. That's why we have the live chat, you know, so that you can write. And also it's friendly. Not everyone is so out there, you know, that they're like, okay, I can talk. So it's okay. Gothboy UK, Top makes Weasel sound like a dark room. Well, we like joking about it, but if you want my honest opinion, I think Weasel is a very decent person for being 20 years old. Because at that age, you could be a complete whore. There's nothing wrong with it, you could be, but I have the feeling he likes to play about it. It gives me more like that kind of person that takes you home when you're drunk and tucks you in the bed and said, we can have sex in the morning, don't worry. You know, when you're sober. That it strikes me as that kind of person, but I like joking about it. Why not? Weaselman, Barbara Jones, you're gonna be in one of those simulators. Simulators, drag race simulators. Don't think strange stuff. It's drag race simulators. Oh, my knee. I feel like Victoria Scone. I need rehabilitation. Good lord. Oh yeah, Gothboy, yeah. I have the same feeling, you know. But that's the most rewarding thing. When you can say the most stupid shit that doesn't apply to someone, that's you know, that's funny because it's fake. You know, if you're a whore, it's not that funny to make fun of you being a whore. I mean, it's kind of trite, you know. It's more fun to see the reaction of someone that you think it's not. Oh, Fantasia changed her name. I am Weaselman. Then I'll change my name to Fartasia. Oh, good lord. Okay, you know what? I am going to sleep. 2:20 in the morning. I am cooked. My voice is down. And it's been really nice to be back on the live stream. I missed it. I really missed it. And I hope I'll be back with the Dragula reviews. I really hope that I can find the time to do it. Worst case scenario, maybe I will do a couple of them and then realize that maybe I cannot keep up and maybe do, you know, once every 2 or 3 episodes. Why not? I mean, we can go through it. It's doable. If I don't lose myself, yes, I could do a couple of reviews per live stream. 3, it's a little bit crazy. Wind of Gusts, several months ago, I mentioned in a live stream that a long time ago I commented to Gothmic's White Face Live that her face looked like a donut and that I felt... Oh, okay. Well, you're giving me too much credit for remembering things. I don't have that big of a memory, but I appreciate the gesture. Thank you. Yes, it's been a lot of fun for me too. I hope people don't get the wrong, especially the new subscribers don't get the wrong impression. And I basically told RuPaul to go fuck herself. But, you know, It is how it is. It is how it is. Let's have fun, and we will think about tomorrow. Anyway, join the Discord if you will. The link is in the description, and it's in every video's description because it's something that happens automatically. So don't worry, you can find it there. You would like to support, there's a link to the Patreon in the description as well. See you on Friday for game night, or see you in any other premieres if we make any other videos this week. And I will hope that I can get to finish those All-Stars review, because it's been a month and a half. It's been definitely too long. For everything else, I think we'll see us again for the Dragula reviews, if you would like to join. So thank you so much for coming, and I will see you soon.